Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. So there's a form down in the description of this live stream right now where you can put your questions so that we can get them answered on the stream today. Right now, we've just got a few questions in there. So if you're hanging out in the stream right now, waiting for this thing to get going, right now is the time to go ahead and get your question in there if you have something that you want to know about YouTube or what it is that you are doing on YouTube. Now, with that out of the way, I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your videos for discovery. TubeBuddy will help you find great video topics to make videos about. They'll help you test your thumbnails to make sure that the thumbnails that you are making are effective for the people that you are trying to reach with those thumbnails, and a whole bunch of other tools. TubeBuddy has 90 different tools that can help you with your YouTube channel. So you, as a YouTube content creator, you definitely should be using TubeBuddy. So you can find TubeBuddy, you can try TubeBuddy for free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. And then if you decide to upgrade later, then by going through that link, that will also hook me up with a little bit of a commission for sending you over that way as well. So this stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard is the live streaming platform that I use to live stream the show every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason that I use StreamYard is because it's just super easy. It's really easy to use itself, like the interface, everything's easy. They have all the comments contained within it. You can multicast to different platforms. So for example, you can go up to YouTube and Twitch at the same time, or YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn, or YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Like you can go to all these different places at one time, which is pretty cool. In addition to that, they also make it easy to put like graphics on the screen, as you can see right over here, things like that. So when it comes to live streaming, you definitely should be checking out StreamYard, because in addition to all the things that I just said, it's really easy on your computer. So you can even use StreamYard if you have a potato computer, so to speak. So you can check that out at StreamYard.com. Of course, I've got links to both of those down in the description of this stream right now, as well as the link that will take you to the form to where you can put your question in, to where we can get it answered on the stream today. So get your question in the form so we can make sure that we can get it answered for you today, because my goal today is to help demystify YouTube for you, help give you some, good YouTube information that will help you grow your YouTube channel. So the very first question that we actually have today, because we already had somebody actually give a super chat. So the very first question today is from Lenny the Lawyer. And Lenny the Lawyer Live says, can you talk about Descript and other AI-based video and audio software? Do you know how I can find a local social media manager in North New Jersey? In terms of Descript and other AI-based video and audio software, there's some really cool stuff out there. Like Descript is cool. Like, the fact that you can upload videos there and actually edit by the text, and they'll also remove filler words and things like that. Pretty cool. In my book. So it's definitely something worth experimenting with to see if the way that their systems operate with all these, with all the different software that's out there. Like something that we have to constantly be doing as creators is just trying to figure out the things that are the best fit for us, the things that help us in terms of efficiency, the things that get us the best results and all of that. So if you run across something like that, by all means, give it a shot and see, how it works for you on your end, to see if it fits into your workflow and it helps you create a better end product, or it just helps you get through the process faster or in more creative ways in terms of helping your creative process and things like that. So definitely consider giving them a shot. In addition to that, the second part of your question is about finding a local social media manager in North New Jersey. So what you want to do, hey, what's up, Paul Peck? Nice to see you in here, man. I'll be droned. Nice to see you in here as well. But basically, when it comes to finding a social media manager in North New Jersey, if I was in your shoes, what I would do is I would just hop on like Google and I would look around for different agencies, because I guarantee you that, that area is probably filled, with agencies for people helping other people with their social media content. So I would definitely hop onto Google and look around for any agencies locally. I would hop on LinkedIn, look for any agencies locally there, any people locally there. If you can't find anything there, then of course you can always go to like Upwork or something like that. But if you go to Upwork.com and you start looking for help there, keep in mind that's where you have to start doing things virtually instead of it being in person. So, there you'll be talking to people all over the country, all over the world. So it's a great resource in terms of finding people there. However, if you need somebody that you can actually walk up to and talk to and have conversations with to help you with what it is that you're doing, then in that case, I would definitely just hop on Google and hop in LinkedIn, and I would just search everything locally to see if anything would pop up there. Shark Scrapper, nice to see you in here. Mr. Camera Junkie, nice to see you in here as well. Brad, Magic Flying Potato, hope that you're doing awesome, man. Missed you the last 2 live streams. Hope that you are doing great. Fit Dad Chris, nice to see you in here as well. My man Neil, Urban Van Life in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you're doing fantastic. So the next question that we have here, we're actually going to pull this one from the forum, since I just said, hey, get your questions down on the forum, right? I'm like, hey, get your questions in the forum so we can get them answered. So let's go ahead and get them answered. So the very first question here is from KDA Legion. And KDA says that they do mobile reaction console gaming. The goal of the channel is to get to 100 subscribers. And the question says, hey, Nick, I have 2 questions. My first question is, can you get a load? Oh, sorry, I thought he said load, but it said a lot. Can you get a lot of views with a 10 to 20 second intro? My second question is, what YouTubers can I use as a reference with my flaws, editing, consistency, ability to keep an audience, thumbnails, etc.? So the very first question, anything's possible. Sure, you could, a video that has a 10 to 20 second intro could get a lot of views. I know there are some very established channels that actually use very long, interruptive intros, and, they already have, the large channel and all that. However, I guarantee you, if they removed that, their videos would perform better. So when it comes to, the intros that you put in your video, if you're talking about, before I, move on to the next thing, I just want to add some detail to that question. So when it comes to long intros, if you mean like a verbal intro where you're explaining what it is you're going to be talking about in the video and how it's going to help your viewers, or if you're a vlogger, what it is that you're going to be taking them through in terms of the journey, if you're a gamer, what it is that you're trying to accomplish in that particular, video, whatever, if that's what you mean by a 10 to 20 second intro, then absolutely. But if you mean a logo intro to where, you've got, this whole big sequence that happens, I really advise against using one of those that's exceptionally long. Try to keep it between 3 and 5 seconds, or just don't use it at all, and you find another way to spread awareness about your actual branding, logos, and all that good stuff. In terms of looking to YouTubers that you can use as a reference, don't look at YouTubers that you can use as a reference. Look in your analytics. That is going to help you uncover how your audience is responding to what it is that you're doing. Watching other YouTube channels is great for inspiration. Seeing how often they upload is great for inspiration, and just kind of getting an idea of what it is that they are doing in order to get the results that they are after. However, when it comes to learning how to do all this stuff and learning how to craft your content in the best possible way and all of those good things, everything that you are going to learn is going to come from the results that you see on your channel in terms of how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. So some places that you want to look to get that information is, of course, you want to look at your click-through rate for any video that you put up. You don't want to just look at it averaged out in the upside down triangle that YouTube shows us in there. That's also called, like a performance funnel. But basically, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to just look at that as a general idea, but then you want to click into your traffic sources and then look there to see, hey, where, how often am I getting clicked on from these sources that I'm trying to tap into? How long does somebody watch when they're coming from one of those sources, and so on. In addition to that, you also want to make sure you're looking in your audience retention reports so that you can get an idea of how people are enjoying your content. Now, some things to keep in mind. If you're not getting a lot of views right now, if you're just getting a handful of views, it can seem like your numbers, can be really high. And, if you just got a handful of people passing through your videos, it is relatively easier. Well, not relatively easy, but it's easier to keep the numbers relatively high. That's why you'll see, new content creators saying things like, hey, I got an 8% click-through rate, or I got a 10% click-through rate on this. Why am I not getting more views? The reason is because out of the people that they showed it to, the amount of people that responded to your thumbnail, sure, it was high in that particular case, but there's also the rest of everything else that's going on, with your video. So even if they click on it, and your click-through rate is relatively high there, how they actually interact with the content in terms of their average view duration, if they like it, if they don't like it, if they give it a hidden thumbs down, if they, give a comment, if they add it to a playlist, if they share it out, things like that. All those things are being tracked. So you got to do all of the things. All the videos that you're putting out, they have to do all of the things that help the system of YouTube identify that the viewers are having a positive experience with what you're putting out. As soon as that happens, then your videos are going to start getting more views on them. As soon as your videos start getting more views on them, then you're going to notice that YouTube is showing your content to more people, and therefore it starts becoming a little bit more difficult to maintain those higher numbers that you might have seen when you just had a handful of views coming in. So just keep all of that in mind. So the next question that we have here on our list as we're getting kind of warmed up and ready and kind of moving along here. Stanley Orchard, nice to see you in here, man. I hope you're doing great. Hasso Animates, nice to see you in the here in the chat today. Hope that you're doing fantastic. Little Crafty Nook says, "Oh no, a new layout again." No, this is the same one. This is the same one. This is the one that I had ready for last Saturday. definitely the same layout. Neil says, "Hey Nick, with the new layout on a mobile and your about section now being shown, is it important to make your about section better and tweak it?" Sure. Absolutely. You know, everybody should always be looking through YouTube, any changes that are made, and just consider, like, okay, if somebody lands on this, if they're looking at this particular thing for more information, you know, what can I do to make it easier for them to understand what it is that I do for them? And what can I do to make it, you know, easier for them just to have an overall understanding of what the channel's about, so they can make the decision on if they want to, you know, participate or not. So, you know, absolutely. And other details with that too. Like, you know, like for example, in some cases, if you turn your phone sideways, you're going to see an actual description there also, which is pretty cool. So it kind of auto opens the description for you. So in the cases where that happens, then that tells you, hey, we got to make sure that we're putting, you know, the important links and things like that, you know, above the actual scroll in that particular description too. So absolutely. Let's see here. So keep on cruising down the list here. SCB Wellbeing. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. So with the current trend on reviving dead videos, does this still apply to a small channel that gets low views anyway? Better to look forward or revamp? Look forward. Look forward. Like, of course, you can go in and you can, you know, update thumbnails, titles, things like that. And that can work for you or it can work against you because basically whatever change that you make, it can cause a difference in the human behavior when they're interacting with that change that you made. So, for example, if you update your title, that could help you, right? It could be more compelling and people might come in and be like, hey, you know, this is great now. And then on the other hand, it can be to where people are like, oh, yeah, there's no reason that I want to watch that video, to where it just doesn't resonate. So it can definitely go in both directions. So because of that, if you're getting started, I would actually just focus on moving forward and just making sure that you try to get the ball rolling with the new content and you try to make those better decisions moving forward. And then, you know, once everything starts moving a little bit, or just once you have some extra time, then that's where you can go in and start, you know, worrying about some of the older content that you have on the channel if you want to do that. It's all good, Stanley. You are fantastic, man. Thanks for swinging in. I appreciate it. So let's see here. So as we keep on going down the list, let's see here. So Martin Hewlett's Calming Anxiety says, "I'm not focusing on retention, click-through rate, etc. Focus on creating and learning to make more pro-looking visuals and audio, and it's working. 750 more hours. Nice, nice. So if you do that, plus you work on your click-through rate, then, you know, then you're going to be off to the races, so to speak. So I would definitely still work on those other things as well. But you know, like when it comes to click-through rate, like you working on the pro-looking visuals and audio, they're only going to experience those pro visuals and audio if they actually click on it, right? So because of that, I would be paying really close attention to your click-through rate as well in your case, just to make sure that, you know, that everybody's able to see all the cool stuff that you're doing with your content. Lachey Smith says, "Hey, it's such a pleasure to be able to attend your live chat. Thank you for the kind words and thank you for hanging out here. I appreciate it." Says, "I just wanted to say thank you for all of your content and putting up with all of my recent questions and comments. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. I appreciate it." And Stanley Orchard says, "Sorry about being absent. Still kicking. Pleasure to see you, sir. Pleasure to see you as well. Hope you're doing awesome, Stanley. Hope that you have a awesome, you know, holiday season here that we're in right now." And that one trader says, "What do you do if you don't really upload?" I mean, I'm going to go live in 40 minutes with Sonic and FNF. So if you don't really upload, that's fine. Like, you don't have to upload. By going live, you are uploading. So you can grow a YouTube channel with live streams. However, you have to be really intentional about your live streams. Like, just kind of starting your stream and just sitting there waiting for people to show up, having, like, if you're playing games, which it looks like you are, then in that particular case, you know, having, you know, a bunch of loading screens taken forever and, you know, things like that, you're just wasting people's time, right? So because of that, that's where the video side comes in handy in terms of either putting together just a really tight live stream so that it's a great experience for people to come through it, or live streaming, downloading it after the fact, cut it up into a nice tight piece of video content, and then upload it back to YouTube as an edited VOD, optimized for people to find it so that you can have your live stream to where it's like the full version of that content, to where it's cool for the live experience and possibly for the replay. However, that VOD is also going to be another piece of content that can potentially bring new viewers into your YouTube channel. So because of that, you definitely want to consider, you know, that type of approach when it comes to that. I agree. Mr. Camera Junkie says, So many great creators in the chat. I agree. Awesome people here. Will Star, my pleasure. My absolute pleasure. So on that note, one thing that I want to let people know is there's a lot of shady people, reaching out, trying to take advantage of content creators right now. Some of it's legit, some of it's not. It's really important just to make sure that when you do get these emails from people offering you things, that you are, just diligent in terms of looking at the actual email address itself, where it came from. If it seems shady in any way, if it doesn't come from the actual, did my camera just shut down? Whoa, that's weird. It's plugged in. I wonder why that happened. Oh, well. So actually, I'm going to have to fix that here, I think, because it's going to auto switch to that, and I can't exclude it. It's too late. I've already got the sequence put together. But anyway, when it comes to people reaching out to you, you're going to get all kinds of emails of people like, hey, we represent this company and we have this to offer. And then somebody else is going to reach out, hey, we represent this company, we have this to offer. And you're probably going to notice that right now, actually, there's a big thing going on where you'll get all these like .cz emails, and there's a few other ones as well, to where they're all offering, all of these things, saying that they represent all these companies. Just be careful out there, because you don't want to connect your channel to anything. You don't want to advertise for somebody for free. You don't want to, you just get caught up in a scam. So just be careful out there. So this is a great question. Schlock Animate says, where can I promote my channel on YouTube? So make content that people respond to in a positive way. Keep doing that over and over and over again. YouTube systems are going to detect it, and YouTube will show your content to more people. So the best place to get attention to your YouTube channel is on YouTube. Because if you can learn to do it here, then what's going to happen is you learn to create content that an audience responds to. YouTube's going to detect that, and when you publish that content out, people are going to enjoy it. And as long as people are enjoying what you're putting out, and YouTube system detects that they're enjoying it, then they're going to continue to show it to more people until people stop enjoying the content, or they show it to the wrong people. Tinkerman Mick, my man, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Says, hope you are well, Nick. Happy holidays, champion. Happy holidays to you as well, and everybody here. We got Christmas coming up here, like next weekend. So this live stream is actually going to be the last live stream possibly of the year. Nah, you know what? Actually, yeah, you know what? It might actually be the last live stream of the year. So I might end up streaming a little bit earlier, maybe on a Friday or Thursday of next week. I'm not sure. Let me know. What do you think? Would you show up for a Thursday or Friday live stream? Because Saturday is Christmas. Would you show up for a Thursday or Friday live stream if we did it at 9 a.m. Eastern? If so, I might end up streaming at that point in time as well, instead of Saturday. Blind Life Gaming says, I'm looking at donations from people that watch my videos. I don't have a PayPal. Any ideas on what website that I can use? Absolutely. You can use Patreon. Patreon.com. You can use Buy Me a Coffee, but keep in mind they are no longer accepting PayPal. So because of that, you might want to flip over to Ko-Fi. If you just go to Google and you type in KO-FI, I think it is, then what's going to happen there is, then that particular website will come up, and then just click into there, and then that will be a place where you can do some crowdfunding with what it is that you're doing. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list, next thing I'm going to do, so I think I got those taken care of, is we are going to hop back into the form here so I can get some more questions out of there. But before we do, because I know there's a lot of YouTube content creators here that are just getting started, so I want to make sure that I do clarify, little things like this. So in this particular question here from Games and Animal Channel 2021 says, what is a copyright claim? So a copyright claim is when you upload a video or a live stream. It can happen there too. But basically you upload a piece of content to YouTube and you have used something in that video that you did not have permission to use. And because of that, the company that actually owns the rights to that will issue a copyright claim on that video, which essentially means that they're claiming your ad revenue, right? So any ad revenue that you get, it's going to them now. And if you didn't have ads running on that particular video, now you will have ads running on that particular video so that they can claim the ad revenue. Now, if you get a copyright strike, the way to think about that one is they are striking against your channel, right? It's hurting your channel. So you do not want to get copyright strikes because they will lead to your channel getting deleted on YouTube. Copyright claims, a lot of channels get a lot of copyright claims and they're fine. But the idea is you want to avoid strikes, and then claims are not really that big of a deal unless you want your ad money. If you want your ad money, then claims all of a sudden become a big deal. Okay, next question that we have here is from David's Dose of Italy. What's up, David? Hope you're doing great, man. Says it is an Italy channel, cultural, linguistic, and travel-related videos. The goal of the channel. Did this just go down too? Oh no, it just switched to the other camera. I gotta change the thing. So I'm gonna play this rap video here really quick while I change or while I update this. I just have to unplug it and plug it back in. Be right back.
Check, check, 1, 2. I'm B to the G, it's easy to see what you need, it's attention from me. I'll give you the shout, get back on the grind and you'll be down for the count, trying to breathe. Your favorite is me, now you hate with the diss. All of that hair hanging there like a chick, man give me a break. You're standing too close to the timber like Nick. Where is the claim that you say Filmora is hate? Call me a thief with the titles you hate. I taught you to rank, you seem to forget it. I hit it and quit it, and you try to walk in my wake. I'm tossing you weight, giving you shine, giving you clout by doing this with my time and what I'm about.
All right. So we are now back and rocking and rolling with that additional camera. So we are all solid now moving forward with that. Check my notifications here real quick. Okay. So the next question that we have here, oh yeah, we're still going through the Italy channel. Says the goal of the channel is to build a community, help people, and to eventually go full time. So the question is, hey Nick, I can't always make it to the live stream, but replays are my go-to YouTube videos on the drive to work. Thanks for all that you do. In an attempt to make better videos, I went to my analytics and I looked at the CTR from different traffic sources. How do these numbers help us to pivot our strategy and to make better content? Great question. This is actually probably one of the best questions that I've had here on this stream in quite some time, because this information here is actionable stuff that everybody here can use. So thank you so much for asking this question. So here's the thing. When you're looking at the traffic sources, it's reflective of how people are responding from those particular sources, right? So if you're looking at your click-through rate, for example, coming from search, and you find that, okay, my click-through rate in search is really high, then the chances that you're getting a lot of search traffic for that video, as long as they're responding in terms of watching the video and further interacting and all that, is going to be, you know, substantially higher. And you're going to probably see that right there next to that number, that you're getting more activity from search. Now, if you notice that your suggested video click-through rate is really low compared to the impressions that you're getting, or that your browse click-through rate is low compared to the impressions that you're getting, then in that case, what that tells you is, okay, I need to learn how to make packaging in terms of topic, title, and thumbnail that's more compelling for people when it shows up on their home pages or when it gets recommended next to other content. And the reason that I gave that specific example in terms of search, browse, and suggested is because, you know, those are arguably the most important, you know, places that you're going to get most of your traffic from on the platform. But two is that a lot of content creators, especially when they're starting out, they focus all of their efforts on YouTube search. And I've got old videos on my channel, you know, that also tells people like, hey, if you're getting started, search is a great way to get started. And it is. I still stand behind that. However, the difference when you are targeting YouTube search is that, and this is where that, you know, that traffic source information comes in to be convenient. The difference is when you are targeting YouTube search, you are essentially putting your content in front of people that are looking for it, right? In that particular case. So if you're getting that traffic from search, like it's easier to have that higher click-through rate there because people are literally looking for the videos that you make. And when you notice that you have a fail point in your click-through rate when it comes to home pages or suggested videos, same thing with your average view duration there and the watch time that you're generating from those sources as well. Basically, the users that are coming in from those different sources are going to be different than the people that are looking for the content through search as well. So you have to think of the intention that the viewer might have when they see your stuff there. But you also have to think about, okay, if my click-through rate is really low from these sources, then I really have to roll up my sleeves, so to speak, and I need to learn how to make, you know, either come up with topics that are more compelling, thumbnails that are more compelling, titles that are more compelling, or all of the above that are more compelling. And when you're looking at your click-through rate through the different traffic sources, that's going to help you identify those fail points. So if you notice, hey, I'm really low on home pages, then that tells you like, okay, I need to learn how to be more compelling on the home pages. Now I'm going to give you an example of this. So the difference is, if somebody's looking for, and this starts at the topic, right? The difference between where it is that, you know, you're trying to get your traffic from, it starts at the topic itself, because, you know, some topics are just better suited for search. Other topics are better suited for home pages. Other topics are better suited for, you know, suggested videos or just recommendations in general. And then, you know, like search. So the idea here is that when you are making a search-based video, it might be like a, how to make a cake, or the latest Zara collection. If you're making fashion content, if you're doing crafting stuff, it could be best beads for a shout out to Kitty, best beads for for Christmas, to make Christmas ornaments with, or something like that, right? So people are typing that stuff in, and then your videos are showing up over there. So it's relatively easy. Now the difference is, if you are going after like a home page, then in that particular case, first off, the very first thing that you got to consider is that you are putting yourself in the situation that you are competing with a bunch of other stuff that YouTube thinks that that person might be interested in at that point in time. So you have to be a little bit more aggressive at that point in time, right? So that's where, instead of just, how to make a cake, for example, or how to, find the right beads for this, it could be, I made these ornaments, I made these, I made these low-cost Christmas ornaments out of beads. And then that's where it starts at that topic level, right? And then right there, there's not really like a search phrase or anything like that in there where you're trying to target search. What you're doing there is you're trying to pull people in from the homepage. So what you would do in that scenario is it would be, I made these, low-cost ornaments with, with beads, and everything would be reliant in that particular situation on the actual thumbnail itself, because it would need to be impressive so that when it shows up on home pages in front of people that YouTube is predicting might be interested in that content, who are probably watching other crafting related videos, then they have to be impressed by whatever it is that you made. The image for what it is that you are showing them, it needs to look good, right? It needs to be, high res in terms of like the original photo that you took, so that they can see the details and what it is that you're doing and all that. You want to have it well lit and all those things, so that you can use that to grab more attention from the homepage based simply on people being impressed by the ornaments that you made out of beads, for example, right? Now, same exact thing goes into when it comes to suggested videos, just like I just mentioned there with the homepage as well. So the difference is that, when you're targeting the one, or when your videos are showing up in the one, it's just easy, right? Because you're literally just your content showing up in front of people that are looking for it. And the difference is that when you are going on home pages and suggested videos, you just have to be a little bit more aggressive, because you're having to grab somebody's attention there and pull them into what it is that you're doing. You still got to do that in search a little bit, because you're competing with the other ones that are there. But on home pages and or suggested videos, you literally have to grab somebody's attention with what it is that you're doing and then pull them in. So, so the approach is different, but using your traffic sources, looking at your click-through rate, your average view duration, it'll help you cater to those particular surfaces. So hopefully that makes sense. Will Star says, just went through 13,000 subscribers this morning. It's really taken off since I've implemented your advice. Thanks, Nick. My pleasure, Will. High five, fist bump to you, man. Nice work. Ron's Trains and Things in the house. Hope that you're doing great. He says he gets 3 or 4 of those emails or offers every day. The ones that I was talking about before, of people just reaching out from, all of these, all of these places. Polka Ballers, thank you for the super chat. Says, gotta catch them all. Absolutely. Falcon Black says, will you do channel reviews? I'm actually not doing channel reviews during the stream today. I'm considering, if I do end up doing a holiday stream, like right before, if it ends up being like Thursday or Friday of next week, if I do end up doing one of those, then I might, then in that case, I might end up doing, there we go. Okay. Yeah. One of those situations that I might end up, doing some channel reviews, and that whole thing, the whole vibe will probably be a little bit different. It'll be a little bit more relaxed. I might even do it from another place, like another room or something like that. Or maybe I'll just sit over there and just turn a camera on or something, just so it's a little bit more intimate, a little bit more chill for the holidays, something like that. Maybe me, Popcorn, and my girlfriend will sit there and answer your questions or something. Not sure, but we'll see how it all goes out. Okay. Anyway, let's get back into some questions here. So the next question that we have on our list, that was from David's Dose of Italy. So next one that we have on our list here is from Herbert's Outdoors. And Herbert's Outdoors says that they do outdoor content, and the goal of the channel is entertainment. The question, what features should I look for in a gimbal? I use a Sony ZV-1 and GoPros. In a gimbal, you know what? I apologize, but I'm the wrong person to ask for that. So I've got a gimbal, but in terms of, the specific things to look for and all that, that's not my wheelhouse. In that particular case, I would go watch, I would go to like the Primal Video YouTube channel or the Think Media YouTube channel. One of those would have what you need. Mr. Camera Junkie's in the house right now. He's right here in the chat. He might even have some content on gimbals as well, where you might want to go check him out, also. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list here, Homekeeping Channel says, just wanted to say a big thank you for all your help in 2021. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for that. Merry Christmas to you as well. Glad that you're enjoying the content. 2022 is going to be even better for all of us. I'm super excited for 2022. Been saving some energy for 2022. So super excited for 2022. So thank you for that. And thank you for the kind words. And I agree. Trendy Trollin Slot says, hit the like button, everyone. Absolutely. If you haven't yet.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
What's up, Terrestrial Vibes? Hope you're doing great, man. Okay. So next question that we have here on our list, we got Herbert Outdoors taken care of. Next up, we've got Dingus Bringus. What is up? Hope you're doing awesome. Says they do nerd news, and the goal of the channel is to have a place on YouTube where nerds don't have to worry about toxicity. Tell you what, man, you're doing a great service to the world with that, because right now, as everybody knows, things can be pretty toxic in some communities, so you got to be really careful out there these days. But hey, nice on you though. The question says, I just started a daily live show covering news in the nerd fandom. Do you have any tips to grow a live news show on YouTube? Absolutely. First, go after trends. So every single day, as soon as you open up your browser, and you can actually set your browser, if you're using Chrome or actually any of them, you can set it to where it'll do this automatically. You just put the actual URL in there, and then it'll pop up when you open your browser. But hit the trends page every single day. I mean, you're probably going to be doing that anyway to make sure that you're staying up to date on the news, but basically just make sure you're hitting Google Trends, but also any resources that you currently use to get your information to where you're staying on top of stuff or in front of stuff so you can make content about it. Just go ahead and add those as well, so that when you open up your browser, it just cascades all of those resources for you, so you can just kind of click through, okay, is anything going on? And then you can close down anything, that you don't need to pull information from. Now, in addition to that, I would also recommend, you are doing like a news show. So since it's a news show, the information within that news show may or may not be in a situation to where it ends up with a shelf life, so to speak, to where some news is only, good for, that day or that week or whatever. So because of that, one thing that I would do is I would have the news that I was putting out, try to make it, if possible, try to make it to where that content does have at least a little bit of a life cycle to it, to where it doesn't die, over the course of the day. And then in addition to that, another thing that I would also do is make sure that you are keeping in mind that even if you do go live, let's say you go live at 6 in the morning, so that you can go ahead and get that content out there for everybody, and then you're done by 7, right, or 6:30. Well, in that particular case, you have all day for people to rewatch that content, or really as long as that's going to be on YouTube, you'll have it for people to come in and rewatch that content. So because of that, make sure that when you are doing that daily live show, that you are also thinking about the flow and structure of the show itself, so that when people are coming into it after the live stream is complete, they're getting a great experience out of the content. So what I mean by that is, if you're going to multicast, if you're going to go to like Facebook and Twitch and YouTube and all of that with your live show, then in that particular case, some of those platforms, it makes sense to use a countdown timer. On YouTube, it does not. So for YouTube, if you do use a countdown timer for multicasting, make sure after your stream is complete, you come back over here to YouTube and you cut out, because YouTube has their editor in the back end. You can go in, you can cut out any, like countdown timers or anything like that you have for your live stream, so that you make it a much better experience for the replay, for people to come in and get their daily dose of nerd news in that situation. So definitely just make sure that you're thinking about the replay value as well as the experience that people are getting when they're live. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through our list here. So T said what T said. Thank you for the super chat. Says, thank you for your help, Nick. I just hit 50,000 subscribers yesterday. My most recent ad revenue check was over $5,800. You and your panelists are the best. Thank you for the kind words, and high five and fist bump to you for hitting 50,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and for hitting $5,800 in ad revenue. Absolutely love those types of reports coming in. Absolutely love it. Let's see here. So we're just going to keep on trucking down here through this list. I'm going to hop back into the forum here in just a second. Looking for any questions that just kind of like stand out here or anything like that. Okay, nothing right here off the top of my head. So next thing that we are going to go into here is question number 5 from Pet Connection International. Pet Connection International says they do pet care advice, and the goal of the channel is to share evidence-based pet care advice. And the question, when is a good time to start something like Patreon, and what kinds of things could I offer as a small channel, 315 subscribers? You can go ahead and start it now. Go ahead and start Patreon now. Go ahead and start merch now. You can go to spreadshop.com. And at spreadshop.com, you can go ahead and create an account there. You can go ahead and start uploading merch there. And you, even though you don't have the merch shelf underneath your videos, you can have that description, or you can have that link in your description, so you can tell people in your videos, hey, I got a link to, get this awesome shirt down in the description. So definitely start monetizing both of those. In terms of what to offer as a small channel, when it comes to crowdfunding, that the things that you offer could be access to you in terms of, you're somebody that does pet care. So you're going to have a lot of people that want to know a lot of questions around pet care. And the difference is you can prioritize the questions that are coming in through your Patreon or through your Ko-Fi or whatever it is that you use to monetize. So that's what I would do, and that would be the type of thing that I offer. I mean, that is what we offer through our channel membership here as well, is that specific thing. We've got a Facebook group, and everybody goes over to that Facebook group. We have live streams over there. We have a lot of great conversations going in there. People are in there helping each other out in terms of, somebody will make a post about something, and, you have like everybody in there, trying to help them out. Like it's a really great community over there. But you can do something similar because you are giving advice. Next question, Normal Mode TV says they do video game reviews. The goal of the channel is for now to get better, but eventually to go full time. And the question, should I delete my old videos? They work niche-wise. They're just lower quality than all my new stuff. Thanks for everything. So if it's content and people are clicking on it and people are enjoying it, keep it. Like as long as it's in alignment with the content that you're currently putting out on your channel, by all means, keep that stuff on your channel, because for every person that comes in and interacts with that content, even though it might look a little bit worse than your new stuff, even though it might sound a little bit worse than your new stuff, or the edits might not be as good, for you, that can be the first content that somebody sees of you to where they're like, wow, I really like how this person presents their content. I really like the information this person shares. I really love the way that they do their game reviews. And because of that, then they go and they click on more of your higher quality content. So if people are, responding to that older stuff, even though it might not look or sound as good as the new stuff that you're doing, I'd keep it just because it's still in alignment and people can still get value from it. The Fantasy Authority,
Super Chat.
Thank you for the super chat, says, hey, Nick, I love the content. We are a fantasy football channel. We had an excellent growth in August and September, but have fallen off. We've tried different titles and thumbnails, but nothing seems to change. So in that particular case, in addition to your titles and your thumbnails, another thing that you also have to make sure that you are considering is the content that brought people into the channel. So whatever was happening in August and September, first off, you can go into your analytics and you can figure out exactly what happened. You'll be able to just, if you go into your traffic sources, you can literally see the line graphs there. So you can say, okay, here's August, September, and then, like all the way up to now, and you'll literally be able to see the lines and be like, oh, my suggested videos dropped off. No wonder, right? Or, hey, my homepage traffic, or, hey, my search traffic just completely fell off. And you'll be able to identify like what actually happened, right? Like why your numbers are down. But in addition to that, what you want to do is you want to go into your analytics. They're going to show you your top videos that are bringing in the most activity over whatever date range it is that you select. But basically what you want to do is you want to look at the content that's bringing in the most activity. And the reason that you want to do this is because all the people that are interacting with that content, those people are, as long as they're enjoying it, they're interacting with it, like they're watching it for a longer period of time, they're, liking it, commenting, that kind of stuff. When you publish new content, some of those people are going to be presented with your content. So because of that, you want to make sure that the content that is bringing them in, that you're making content that makes sense for those particular viewers to want to click on it and come back in. So what I mean by that is, go to your analytics, they're just going to show you that list, right? Like, hey, these are your top performing videos over whatever period that you select. So you just want to simply look at those videos and think to yourself, okay, why are people still coming in on this content? Why are people enjoying these particular videos? If I look at the stats on these videos compared to the videos that aren't performing, what's the difference there? Because you also have the compare tool in your analytics as well. But you want to, look at all of that, and you want to think to yourself, okay, if they're coming in for this particular, sports, football, fantasy football content, then in that particular case, what specific videos were they coming in on, and what could I make next that those people would be likely to enjoy based on, my understanding of my audience. So, so that would be the approach that I would take. But the very first thing is I would just go into your traffic sources and look to see what happened. Because like in some cases you might find that, hey, my suggested traffic was way up here. Now, now my suggested traffic has tanked. And then you can even go in and you can start figuring out like which videos were driving you the most traffic. And you might find that you had your own videos that were driving a lot of traffic. And then for whatever reason, people just stopped responding to those videos when they got suggested to them by YouTube, like in the next up spot, suggested videos and all of that. So definitely dig in from that point of view. But basically just thinking of it from that next logical step for the people that are coming in, they're interacting with that, with your other fantasy football content. You just want to look at the videos that are bringing in the most activity and then just try to think what would be a great fit for those particular people. Yeah, I'm probably about 50 right now, about 50% caffeinated myself. Okay. So next up on our list here is, we did video game reviews. Let me go over here. I'm going to check on one more thing here really quick while I'm in here. Late, but here. All good. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, another thing as well. Zubechi Kathleen. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, I apologize.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. I just noticed that came in. I apologize for taking so long to mention. It's been like 38 minutes, and I apologize. But basically, when you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to our members only Facebook group. Make sure you fill out all the information on the way in, because that's how I verify that you're a member. If you can do that before the stream is over today, I will go ahead and get you into the group here before as soon as the stream is over. So hopefully you will do that, because it's an awesome group over there. Okay, so next up here on our list, we did that one. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, next up, we've got Martonic. I like that channel name. I like the one name channel names. It's great. Love it. Absolutely love those one name channel names. But let's see here. They have a gaming channel, COD Warzone. The goal of the channel says, I love running a gaming community on 5M, so I wanted to do a similar thing with YouTube. It's an amazing feeling having people who enjoy your content and that type of stuff. Maybe as a career, it would be nice, but I'm 17, so I still have time to decide what I'm doing. The question is, I'm making YouTube Shorts. Is making YouTube channel Shorts viable? Making YouTube Shorts viable for a channel? I'm currently uploading one YouTube Short a day, and also plan on making longer form videos after I set up my microphone with Equalizer app or APO. So shorts are a great way to get attention to what it is that you're doing, but you just want to make sure that if you are using shorts, that they fit into your game plan for what it is that you are trying to do with your YouTube channel. But absolutely, people are having tons of success with shorts. I'm not sure if he's still in here or not, but Tinkerman Mick, who was in here just a little bit ago, he actually dropped a super chat. He actually grew his channel substantially off of YouTube Shorts. So yeah, shorts are absolutely an avenue to get attention for what it is that you're doing. But you just got to make sure that you're paying attention in terms of just kind of noticing what's happening with your channel when you are using those. But in terms of having shorts content plus long form content and all that, it's totally fine. Just make sure that you're paying attention that your stats are continuing to move in the direction that you want. And what I mean by that, make sure that you're paying attention to your demographics, that sort of thing, to make sure that you continue to stay in front of the right people that you're actually trying to reach. Let's see here. Next up on our list here, we have Eve Mux. Eve Mux, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Eve Mux says they do educational content. The goal of the channel is to teach people about live streaming. And the question, super cool, love that. And the question is, launching a second channel tutorial channel. I have 13 videos created. Should I just make them all go live at the same time so people have more than one video to watch? Or what is your recommendation to kick off this channel? So I would publish a video today. For that, since you have 13 videos made already, I publish a video today, and then from that point forward, I would just start publishing content at a regular pace. Now, if you wanted to, you could also publish that video today, and if you start getting activity on that video, then publish another video so that you have another video that you can link to in the end screen to drive people to kind of give that original video, or to give that next video life, and just kind of continue that particular process. But outside of that, though, pick a schedule that you are going to be able to sustain for a long period of time, and just go ahead and start sticking to that schedule. Let's see here. But if you do have that first video start doing well, then definitely make sure you publish another one, and that you just so that you can link it, back and forth with your end screen. Terrestrial Vibes says that they do meditation and spirituality content. The goal of the channel is to help others. And the question, what's the best way to maximize your reach and views with a new video that is doing better than most? So if the video is doing, better than most, the next thing you got to think about is if it's bringing in a lot of people into your YouTube channel, like if you have a video just like take off, then in that case, that's where you want to go through and make sure that everything is optimized to where you've made everything really easy for the viewer. What that comes down to is making sure that you're linking everything up properly. Revisit your in-screen links to make sure that the content that you're linking through is relevant to the videos that the person would be watching based on what it is that they're interested in. Make sure your channel page is set up properly. Make sure you have links in your description sending people to other content. Make sure that you use cards where appropriate within your content as well to have people go into other content, that sort of thing. So that you can make sure that you are making it easy for those people to find more of your content. So in terms of maximizing that reach, the best thing that you can do is just follow that video up after you make sure that your channel is all set up properly so that they can easily find more of your content. Next thing you want to do is you want to think to yourself, just like the example that I just gave on the channel that slowed down, the fantasy football channel, is you want to next go into your content and you want to see like, okay, this video that's taken off, for these people that are coming in on this video, like what would be the next video that these people would be highly likely to watch based on that video that they're already responding to, right? Because they're proving that they're interested in what it is that you're doing through that one video. So then what would be the next best thing that you could do for those particular viewers? Let's see here. Tending Together, thank you for the super chat. Says I have 294 subscribers. 95% of my traffic comes from external. Me sharing it in other places. How can I change that? You need to one, learn your analytics so that you can see where your fail points are with your with the content that you're putting out. Because that, like when you learn your YouTube analytics, it helps you identify the things that you need to improve on. So like one of the things people always ask me because of the type of content that I make is like, hey Nick, what am I doing wrong? Will you check out my channel, tell me what I'm doing wrong? And it's not necessarily that you're doing anything wrong. It could just be that you're not doing things to a level enough to where YouTube is deeming your content as competitive for the platform at this moment in time. Therefore, that's where you need to go in, look at your click-through rate, different traffic sources, your average view duration, look at the overall engagement that you're getting with all the stuff that you're doing, all the content that you're putting out. That's where you need to look at all of that information so that you can start seeing like, oh, hey, compared to the amount of impressions that I have on this video, my click-through rate is extremely low. No wonder this video isn't getting attention. Or, hey, when people start my videos, it just drops off like crazy, right there at the very beginning. And when you notice that, same exact thing. Then in that case, like, hey, I got to start working on my videos here because as soon as people click on them, like, I'm like within the first like 10 seconds, I've lost half of my audience. So I got to start working on that part, right? So if you want more attention on YouTube, it comes down to you learning how to make content that people respond to in the best possible way so that you can get your content to a point to where it's competitive for the platform. Once that happens, then YouTube will take care of all the rest. Yeah, so an MCN, and this is from MasterTube. So an MCN is a multi-channel network, and a CMS is a content management system. So basically with a MCN, that's where basically they just scour the internet looking for people that are foolish enough to try to, get people, or that are foolish enough to work with them. That's what an MCN is. And then a CMS is basically just a content management system. So for example, WordPress is a CMS. Drupal is a CMS. YouTube is a CMS, right? Because you load your content in there. It's a content management system. So YouTube is technically the back end is a CMS as well. So that's the difference between them. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, as we keep on trucking, Katrina Does It All says, Nick, I'm a cleaning channel and I have almost 5,000 subscribers. Nice work. Says I get about 1.5 thousand views per video, but to me, my views aren't where they should be compared to other content like mine. Why is that? Because when other people, well, a few things that you got to that you have to factor in here. And I started to walk down one path, but I was like, hey, let's reel it back a little bit and let's explain this a little bit better. So, hey, what's up, Walter's World? Nice to see you in here, man. But basically, when you are looking at competitor channels, the very first thing that I just want to remind everybody to think about is that it's important to make sure that you are keeping kind of like a pulse on what's going on in your space. However, keep in mind that, everybody has different approaches to things. Unless you actually know those content creators and you can talk to them about what's going on with their channel, you don't really know what's going on. You just see the numbers from the outside. So because of that, you don't know if they have a website that they're sending traffic from. You don't know if they have a social media account somewhere else that they're sending traffic from. You don't know if, they've been putting a publication somewhere to where they have, traffic come in that way. You don't know if they have a tool that they've created that's sending people in that way. Like, you don't know, what's going on. Like, you don't know how they're getting the traffic. All you see from the outside is like, wow, they're getting a lot of subscribers, they're getting a lot of views. What am I doing wrong? Right? You start thinking that way. So because of that, what you want to start thinking of is you want to start thinking, okay, if they're getting more views than me, then just some things that I need to consider. One is, of course, the size of the channel in terms of at the initial time of publish. That isn't a guarantee for like, long-term viewership. But, if somebody publishes a piece of content that already has a large channel where YouTube, has tons of data on who's a great fit for their content, and you have 100 subscribers, or you have 5,000 subscribers, for example, then in that particular case, if they've got hundreds of thousands, then at the time of publish, the amount of people that theirs is going to go in front of is probably going to be higher than yours. So you got to consider that. But outside of that, though, that's just at the time of publish. It does not, it's not for long term. It's just at the time of publish. But in addition to that, another thing as well is that in situations like this, when competitors are doing better than you, like, you got to look in the mirror. And what I mean by that, and this is some hard truth, coming at you here. But basically, when you see competitors doing better, what that means is that they are getting a better response than you are at that moment in time. So that means they're getting people to click more, they're getting people to come back to the channel more, they're getting people to enjoy the videos more in terms of average view duration, thumbs up, commenting, sharing it, adding it to playlists, things like that. But they're just getting a better overall response. And that's why they're getting more views, because one thing that YouTube is prioritizing is a viewer experience. So as a YouTube content creator, if you have somebody that's doing better than you, then that means that they are creating a better experience for their viewers than you are at this point in time. Doesn't mean that you're bad at what it is that you're doing. I mean, you've done an awesome thing. You've generated 5,000 subscribers already, so you're doing awesome. So don't forget that. But, when it comes to, the competition, if they're getting, substantially more videos than you or more views than you, then that just means that they are, that they're coming up with, better topics. They're able to get people to click more. And when people do click, they're able to create an experience for those viewers that you're just not doing at this particular moment in time. So because of that, just keep that in mind. But also keep in mind that because of how YouTube works, you might publish a video today and your competitor might publish a video today, and it might look like theirs is going to do much better than yours, but yours might pick up 3 months from now and then end up, way outperforming theirs. So there's tons of different variables going on there. But at the core of it, though, it's awesome that you're paying attention, but I would just try to focus on what it is that you are doing instead of focusing on what it is that they're doing, in terms of thinking of it from the perspective of like, why are they getting more and I'm getting less? Of course, you want to think about it, but in terms of, focusing on it, acknowledge it, and then get into your own stats, get into your own YouTube analytics, and start looking into what it is that you're doing. Other things that come into play as well, if they're uploading more. If they're uploading more, like if you have content and both of your content is about the same in terms of the response, but they're uploading more, then in that case, then they're going to end up doing better. And the reason that they're going to end up doing better is because they're putting out more content than you are. And since they're putting out more content than you are, one, they have more chances of having their, videos take off. But in addition to that, the recency of people, hitting that new content is going to be higher. And as they're putting out more content more frequently, they also have more content out there at each moment in time with the little new tag on it, where YouTube is experimenting with it all over the platform, just trying to figure out who's a great fit for it. So, you have all these different things that you have to consider when it comes to that, when it comes to the competition. And at the core of it, another thing that I just want to remind you of, since you are making that comparison, is that it's also important to make sure that you're also focused on the goals that you have for what it is that you're doing, because, it's not always the case to where, like in their case, their videos might be doing better, but if their videos are doing better, that doesn't mean that, they're necessarily heading the right direction towards their goals, where you might be nailing yours. So, because of that, think of those sorts of things as well. Let's see here as we keep on going down our list here. We're going down our list here. Let's see what else we got. So let's go over to the form for this one. We got terrestrial vibes taken care of here. So next up, we have One Step. One Step says that, let's see here, they do 1 time per week or more. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to make a passion a career by growing an awesome community. And the question, as a gamer, is it better to niche down pretty hard? As a variety gamer, I find it so much fun, but I find the importance is niching down. Should a gamer who does shooters do only shooters, a gamer who does fighters do only fighting games, and so on. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Is if you are putting out gaming content, ultimately, you're going to want people to dig, how you play the game, how you react to the games, things like that. So they'll come in and watch anything you want down the road. But when you're first getting started, I recommend that you make content around the games that you love the most or a game that you love the most so that you can become a resource for the people that are into that particular game and so that you can keep people coming back to the channel on a regular basis. The reason that's important is because YouTube is tracking all that. And when you can have people coming back to your channel on a regular basis, that's helping the videos perform. And that's also making sure that every single video that you put out is a great fit for that particular audience that you're trying to reach that's interested in that game, which then ultimately helps you because every piece of content that you're publishing for them is something that they're interested in, which therefore is going to increase your likelihood of getting that person to click and come in and watch that content again. So the approach to take is niche down. And then once you start picking up some serious momentum on your channel, that's where you start experimenting with like, okay, I'm doing COD content. I think you said you do Warzone stuff. Oh no, that you just said gaming. So, if you're doing, Call of Duty content, then in that particular case, once you get that momentum, experiment. Say, okay, you know what? This week or, for this upload, I'm going to try putting out like a GTA video and see how people respond to that. Or I'm going to try putting out a video on something else and see how people respond to that. And by doing those types of experiments from time to time, one thing that you're going to uncover is like, okay, I can put out content on pretty much whatever I want and people are going to love it. Or you're going to be like, okay, people just want Call of Duty content from me. Or people want Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, but they don't really care when I make a Fortnite video, right? You're going to start noticing those types of things. Patty Doyle in the house. What's up, my man? Hope that you are doing fantastic.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. So make sure, like I already know you. So make sure when you get the chance, like you don't have to fill out the information, but you can if you want. When you get the chance, go to nimminvip.com. It's our members only Facebook group. You can choose to fill out the information on the way in if you want. But basically, if you can just submit to that before the stream is over today, I'll let you into the group as soon as the stream is complete. Nice to see you in here, man. I hope that you're doing awesome. I'm sure you're loving it. Actually, I think one of your latest videos, I think you're actually down south right now, running around in the beaches. But I was going to say that Chiang Mai is awesome right now. So if you're not up here, you should definitely hop back up here when you get the chance because it feels pretty incredible up here right now. So let's see here. So as we keep on going down through this list, we've got, let's see here. There's one step. Okay. Next up here, we have Whiskey Alpha Pilot. Whiskey Alpha Pilot says the type of channel is learning to fly vlog, losing weight, and 360 VR. The goal of the channel is to grow a community. The question, should titles be purely keyword-based or should they read English? They should absolutely read English, and if it is keyword-based, then it should still read English as well. But the thing that I actually want to bring to your attention is the difference in the audiences that you are potentially reaching with the content that you're putting out. So you say here that you have like learning to fly vlog, you have losing weight content, and you have 360 VR content. One thing that I just want you to consider with this, of course, do whatever you want, right? With your channel, you just do your thing. However, just one thing that I want you to consider based on, how YouTube works and all that is that if you have a video that you publish on learning to fly and I subscribe to your YouTube channel and I'm like, wow, this is great, right? This person, I'm following them on their journey to learning how to fly. And then you publish a video on like losing weight, probably not going to care. And then you publish a video on 360 VR. In that case, actually, let's just do this the other way. Because there is one on this list I'm interested in. So let's say you publish a 360 VR video and I'm like, yeah, this is great. Love it. This, they just showed me this, app or this, game or whatever. This is awesome. I'm subscribing. I'm going to watch every video they put out. And then the next video that I see from you is a video on learning to fly. Guess what? I'm not clicking on. The next video after that is a video about your weight loss journey. Guess what I'm not clicking on, right? Because I want the VR content from you. Therefore, the other two pillars of content that you have are meaningless to me. So if YouTube ends up showing me that content, I'm not going to click on it. It's going to hurt your click-through rate if I click on it to support you because I like your VR content. And I'm like, hey, let me click on this and just go and see what this video is about. Then in that particular case, I quickly identify that losing weight content is definitely not something that I'm interested in. Clearly, especially around the holidays. So because of that, I'm either going to unsubscribe to your channel or I will abandon the video quickly and I will in turn end up hurting your audience retention because of that. If that happens at scale, then as you're putting out content, you're just hitting walls. Wall, because you're not serving a specific audience. you're just putting out a bunch of random content. So because of that, I just want you to keep that particular thing in mind. But in terms of titles, you don't even have to put keywords in your titles if you don't want. But the idea with keywords is to help people identify that content is something that they might be interested in. And it also helps you if you are specifically targeting YouTube search. It helps you there too. Now, in some cases, even if you have all the right keywords, things like that, you might see a video above yours that isn't even using the, a full keyword phrase. They might just have the actual keyword in there, and YouTube is prioritizing that video over yours, even though you have like a full keyword phrase and you nail it on the relevant side. And the reason for that is just because that other video they've detected, because they tested it there in that particular spot in search, and people respond to that particular one higher, so therefore it's tossed up above yours. So search, just like other features on the platform, are all performance dependent on the performance of the video. So if you do well in search, then you'll get traffic from there. If people respond good, if they don't respond well from search, then in that case, then your videos won't stay there very long. Drew Project, what's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. Fred D,
Super Chat.
I plan to start both a YouTube and TikTok account. Both are educational and heavy on personality, but the topics I will tackle will be slightly different for each. Would you recommend cross promotion despite the different topics? If there's some type of crossover in terms of the topics, then sure. But if they're like way different, like the example that I just gave, like, 360 VR and then like losing weight, unless it's 360 VR about losing weight or 360 VR about learning to fly, that type of thing. But if it is, just completely different, then I wouldn't cross-pollinate, at least when you're getting started. Once you pick up momentum on both, then in that case, you might want to, and that's where you would be like, oh, hey, by the way, I've got this other channel and this other stuff. But, initially, you want to try to keep that audience as clean as you possibly can to help YouTube best understand who the right fit is for your content, so they know who the right people are to show it to. They'll figure it out eventually, but the idea is just to make it easier for their system to have an understanding of who does and does not respond to your content positively, so that they can match that against other people on the platform. Corky Duke, thank you for the super chat, man. Super appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's see here. My new campaign, Bomber Crew, Battlestar Galactica, starts as soon as I finish the nose art. Take care. Nice. Let's see here. So as we keep on going down through this list, we've got a handful of super chats coming in, so I'm going to address these really quick, and then we'll hop back into the forum. Marty Clement says, hey, Nick, thank you for all your tips. 18 months and 259 subscribers, real estate coaching channel. What YouTube trends should we look out for in 2022? That's a great question. So when it comes to YouTube, one thing that is rolling out is all the different live streaming features, so that they can compete with some other platforms there. As you already know, YouTube, shorts, people are having a lot of, success over there. They're rolling out that. So really just making sure that you're tapping into the things that are appropriate for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So as an example of this, since you do real estate coaching, like if I was doing real estate coaching, one thing that I would think about is, what type of regular live stream could I do similar to what I do, right? Because I do like, YouTube coaching. So basically thinking like, okay, what type of, like live stream, so I could take advantage of that particular thing as well, that opportunity, like what type of live stream could I do where I could put a little show together where I could help people that are interested in real estate. And by doing that live stream, I am constantly just, throughout the entire stream, because I'm answering questions or I'm just putting together information for people and putting together presentations and all that. But through the live streams, you're demonstrating your expertise on the fly through the questions that are coming in. And by doing that, then you're going to notice, if you're not doing this already, you're going to notice as people are participating in your streams and as your stream starts growing, you won't ever have to look for leads in that particular situation, because you're going to have people sending you emails after every single stream that you do. And you're going to have leads coming out of your ears. So because of that, I would definitely tap into live streaming if you're not already. And I would also consider, not just YouTube, but, all of these platforms are, places where your audience is going to be. So if you're uploading content to YouTube, I would also upload some of that content natively to Facebook if it's appropriate, over to LinkedIn if it's appropriate, just for the sake of, TikTok if it's appropriate over there, for the sake of, just getting yourself out there. Because, when it comes to all of this stuff and growing your influence online, at the end of the day, you just want to get in front of people. Like if it's on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or, wherever it is, you just want to get in front of people. But in terms of the stuff to keep a lookout for on YouTube, definitely keep an eye out for their live streaming stuff. I would be really surprised if they don't start going, and I know that they have, like the music app and all of that, but in terms of like on platform, I'd be really surprised if they don't start offering sometime in the near future some type of like audio only service as well, which will be awesome if they do that. Like imagine if I could have like a clubhouse room on my YouTube channel, then I would be in there. Like when I would be sitting here working, for example, I would just be sitting there, and then I would let people, go in there and talk and, help people out and all that good stuff. And I could turn that into like a whole thing. So hopefully they'll end up doing that kind of thing. But for right now, live stream will be the ticket there. But Dr. Zach, what's up, man? Thank you for super chat. Hoppy. Thinking it's Easter, not Christmas. Happy holidays to you as well. Trucking from, it just flipped by. Let me go over into here so I can find it. Refresh this really quick. So let's see here. So Trucking from Scratch says, what's up, Nick? Is that 2 Rodecaster Pros? Do you have a studio tour video? Your setup looks fire. Thank you. So I don't have a studio tour video, but you can see some of this stuff going on. I have a studio hacks video that I made. You can see some of this stuff over there. But yeah, so this is a Rodecaster Pro here over on this side. That's a Rodecaster Pro. And then the one right back over there is also a Rodecaster Pro as well. And this other box that I have right here is my ATEM Mini. With the ATEM Mini, that's the thing that's doing all the camera switching and all of that, so that we can have different cameras and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Next up, we have Real World Garage. I'm on the grind to 1,000. Thanks for all the tips. Head down, grinding on. High five and fist bump to you for getting close to that. And really quick to you, Real World Garage. I just put out a video on how to get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So, if you're trying, if you're anybody here, because I know most people here have under 1,000. So if you have under 1,000 subscribers and you haven't watched that video yet, please do. Because, like how I was talking about a minute ago, targeting like browse and search and all that good stuff. Like, I get into a little bit more detail about that there and a bunch of other things that you need to, keep in mind as well. So if you are on that grind to get that first 1,000, if you haven't watched that video yet, I really recommend that you check it out. A lot of great comments in there too, in terms of just people, enjoying, that content and learning a lot from it. Falcon Black says, why don't all creators have access to super thanks? With YouTube, when they roll out features, basically they test features, and sometimes it takes a while for them to, roll them out to everybody. So, like at first there was just a few channels that had it, then they opened it up to a lot more channels. And then the next step should be that, people that are monetized, as long as you're in a country, that it's okay to do, then in that case, you should end up with them soon. Uncle Bill's Kitchen, my pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Okay, so next up here, we are going to hop back into the form for the next question that we have here on this list here. And I'm just double checking here, make sure I got all those taken care of. And I think I did. Robert Grunt, happy holidays. Okay, so next up we have, see here, we did Whiskey Alpha Pilot. Our next question is from Zach Tracker. Zach Tracker says that they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is entertainment, though Let's Play style videos. And the question, would it be a good idea to make a personal review video on a game I've done a Let's Play style video on? Absolutely. So here's the thing, as a gamer, like you can grow a gaming channel just on Let's Plays if it's discoverable in terms of, the titles that you write and the thumbnails that you're using and all of that. And then when people are coming into those Let's Play videos, they're entertained by them, then you can grow just on that. However, as a gamer, what you start doing when you start creating, additional content around a particular game, like in addition to the Let's Plays, you're doing a review of that particular game or a review of each level of that game, right? So right there, you've got, the game review, plus you can break that down into all the different levels. You can also break it down into all the different characters to do like, character guides of, all of the different characters. And if it's something on, like if there's special things you have to do to beat a specific character, to advance to another level, that kind of stuff, doing guides on that sort of thing. In addition to that, just doing good old fashioned help content to where you go to the YouTube search bar and you look for all the problems that people are trying to solve based around the games that you play. And then you make some videos around that content as well. What you start creating is you start creating content that's just a little bit more discoverable. It's easier to get views from. So in that case, what you do is you have your Let's Play content that you put out, but within that, you are also putting out this other type of content from time to time that creates these additional ways that people can find your YouTube channel who might not necessarily care about your Let's Play content, but they get tons of value out of the other content because they're really interested in the games that you play. And then, of course, you're going to have some crossover just because they're interested in the game itself. So you're going to have some crossover to where some of those people that come in from the, like the character guides or your tips and tricks videos or whatever they are, you're going to have some of those people that will cross over and also enjoy your Let's Plays content because they're coming in on content based around the game that you play. So, so because of that, I would definitely consider making some of that additional content, especially if you're on the fence about it. But even if you're not on the fence about it, as a gamer, if you can put content like that together, it's just easier to get views from that type of content because people are looking for that type of content. Dark How Gaming says they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to educate and entertain through my videos and hope to become a full-time content creator. The question, is it a bad practice if the title of the stream or video is in English, however the streamer speaks more in a different language? Yes. Absolutely it is. So if you are whatever language of your video that you're speaking in, you want to make sure that you are optimizing the whole video in that language. So what you don't want is you don't want to have your title and thumbnail. If you happen to use text in your thumbnail, you don't want that stuff to be in English. And then when somebody clicks on the video, you're speaking in another language, because what's going to happen is if YouTube starts showing that to people in the English speaking market, then they're going to click on it because they're going to be expecting somebody to be speaking English. And because of that, they're going to click on that video. They're not going to understand what's going on, and they're going to leave. So, and it's going to hurt your retention. So because of that, I would definitely make sure that you have everything synchronized in terms of the language that you are communicating in. Roger Wakefield in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic today. Thanks for swinging by the stream. Let's see here. So next up we have, and happy holidays too, Roger. So let's see here. So Zubachi Kathleen, and again, I apologize, if I'm saying that wrong, says that they do relationship stories and recent happenings content. The goal of the channel is to help people heal from relationship issues and keep people informed on what is happening in this part of the world. And the question is, how do I grow my channel, please? I need help. I've been on the same number of subscriber count for over 2 months now. So if you've been in the same number of subscribers for over 2 months, like if you're not moving at all, then in that particular case, you got to really start looking at what it is that you're doing and how you're doing it. And what I mean by that is, first, before I say any of this stuff, before I continue, keep in mind that as a YouTube content creator, everybody comes into this with different skill sets. Everybody comes into this with a different understanding of how things work. Everybody comes into this with a different expectation of what it is that's going to be required of them and all of that good stuff. So right at the very front of all of this, just keep in mind that when YouTube content creators start their channels, there's typically a learning curve, and that learning curve can, depending on the other life experience that you bring onto YouTube, that learning curve can be, pretty steep. But like Doug Houston said right here, it's never too late to start. But when it comes to that learning curve, one of the parts of that is starting to learn, okay, if my channel isn't moving in terms of like nobody's watching my videos, nobody's subscribing to my channel, then you got to start thinking from the perspective of, okay, what do I need to improve on? It's not necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just like, what do I need to improve on? Do I need to work on coming up with better, video ideas? Do I need to work on learning how to make better thumbnails that will be more attractive for people to click on? Do I need to work on, or more effective? Do I need to work on, on the titles that I'm writing so that I can make sure that I can, connect with people through my title? If all of that is okay, when somebody clicks on your content, what's the experience that they're getting there? Watch your content and pretend you're a viewer. Don't look at yourself and, when you're watching the content, don't look at yourself and be like, oh, I should have wore a different shirt for that background. Or don't look at yourself and be like, oh, wow, I didn't notice this eyebrow hair was out of place, right? You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to look at it from the best that you can from the eyes of a viewer. And you literally want to click on your video. You can do it from your videos page, but you want to click on your video and you want to sit there and you want to see the experience that other people are having. So look at, okay, when my video first starts, I'm watching this because, I'm sitting here studying my video, but as somebody coming into this that's never experienced my content before, like, what about this here within this first like 5 or 10 seconds or 15 or 20 seconds of this video? Like, what about this? If I was just a viewer, if this was somebody else's video on somebody else's channel, would I watch this? And would I continue watching this after this first 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, minute, and so on, and start going through your content like that and just start really being hard on yourself in terms of like, hey, I need to be a little bit tighter when my video first opens up. I need to give the viewer a little bit more information about what it is that, this journey that I'm getting ready to take them on in my vlog. When they first come into this video, I need to be a little bit more specific about what we're trying to accomplish in this game. If you're a gamer. So like the idea is just looking through your content and starting to think like, okay, how can I do all this stuff better? And one thing that can help you with that on the content side is by going into your analytics and looking at your audience retention reports. And then you can start seeing like, okay, for the people that have interacted, even if you don't have a lot of people interacting right now, for the people that have interacted, how are they responding to what it is that I'm doing in terms of, like how long are they watching the videos for? Are they leaving any comments, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, like if you're not moving, like if your channel's not going anywhere, you're not getting views, you're not getting subscribers, the very first thing you got to start thinking of is the topics that you're making content about and how you're packaging up those topics. And that comes down to the actual video idea, and it comes down to the thumbnail and the title that you're using, because you got to be able to get people to click on what it is that you're doing in order to be able to get a view, right? So start there in terms of that viewer journey. So they end up clicking on your video from a home page or in search, or maybe on your channel page, whatever. Then, from that moment that they click on it, even when they see it, right? Like, okay, why would somebody click on this? It's another question that you want to ask yourself. When somebody's, when you're putting your thumbnail and your title together, and when you're coming up with a topic for your video, you also have to think about, okay, why would this be important to somebody that I'm trying to reach? Now, of course, there's the side of like, hey, I want to make this content because I'm a creator. I'm a creative. I need to get this out of me, right? So I want to make this content. But then you also, that's the side of you. That's why you're doing it in the first place. But you also have to think like, if I'm wanting to get views from other people, and I'm wanting other people to enjoy my content so that YouTube will show my content to even more people, that's where you really got to start digging into how people are responding to your content. And you got to start looking for and being objective about what it is that you're doing, so that you can make sure that you're putting content together in a way that people are, that they're likely to enjoy. So let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list here, let me keep on trucking. And the next question, we're cruising through these today. We're like, pew, we're like lightning through these questions today. So this is number 15 that we're at right now. And we're at Ripsy Drippy. Oh, it's great. Love that one. Ripsy Drippy. So let's see here. So the question is, or the type of channel is gaming, and the goal of the channel is to show skills on the games that I play. Question, how do you get people to watch your videos? I use good tags, titles, and description, but low views. Here's the thing. It's really easy to put the right words in your title. It's really easy to put the right words in your description. It's really easy to put the right tags in that little box that you have available. What's not easy is making a thumbnail and title that's good enough to get people to want to click on that thumbnail or title. Or once people do click on that thumbnail or title, creating a great experience for them from that point forward. So like, typing some words in a box isn't going to be the thing that gets you views on YouTube. What's going to end up getting you views on YouTube is YouTube is going to show your videos to somebody. And they're going to click on it. They're going to watch your content. They're going to enjoy that content. They might even give it a thumbs up. They might subscribe to your channel. They might share it with their friend. They might leave you a comment. They might add it to a playlist. They can come back and watch it later, whatever. But, these activities are going to happen. And once those activities start happening, YouTube is going to detect that. And when people are enjoying your content, then YouTube is going to start showing it to other people. But if you are not making that happen, if you're not thinking of the viewer and you're not thinking of the experience that they're having with your content, there's nothing that you can do with your title. There's nothing that you can do with your description. There's nothing that you can do with your tags that will make a viewer enjoy your content. They're not even going to see your description. Like, they're not going to see your description. They're not going to see your tags. The only thing that a viewer is going to see is your thumbnail and title before they decide to click on it. So if you're not getting people to watch your videos, then the very first thing you got to think of, topic, title, and thumbnail, because I got to come up with topics that people care about. I got to make thumbnails and titles that will, compel somebody to click on it. So in terms of using, good tags, titles, and descriptions, you got to work on the content, right? You got to work on the content and getting people to click on that content, because, just that textual information, it's not the thing that makes everything else happen. The viewer experience and how they are interacting with what it is that you're doing, that's what makes everything move. Let's see here. Next up on our list here, and really quick.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So next up on our list here, we've got Wisco Ted. Wisco Ted says that they help new creators with tools and tips to win on, is that YouTube? Yeah, I guess so. And the goal of the channel is I want to upload 100 videos by October 22. The more I upload, the more I'll learn. And the question, I just started live streaming last week using StreamYard. It was so easy and awesome. Like, legit, that's in here. I can show you a screenshot if you want. They said that. That isn't a plant. But anyway, let's hear. It was so easy and awesome. I'm not concerned that there wasn't any active viewers yet. I did play my content in the live like it is a video. The active viewers will come with time. Question. How much of the live stream would you cut up into separate videos? Example, I have 5 subtopics that I talked about relating to one specific question. If you can cut out clips for as much as you possibly can, then what you're doing is you're taking full advantage of that content you created during the live stream. So as much content as you can clip out of there and reuse, go for it. There's not like a limit. Like if you can divide your live stream into 5 sections of, going deep on a particular topic, then that's 5 different clips that you can cut out if you want to. And you can probably cut out even more than that. Because when you're sharing information, there's always a lot of tidbits within that information as well that you could also clip out if you wanted to. Let's see here as we keep on going down the list. Thank you, Doug. Member for 41 months. Says if you're not a channel member yet, definitely something.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Let's see here. So next up here, we've got, that was Wisco Ted. Next up on our list here, we've got Super Cooper Hobbies. Man, I love these like rhyme schemes today. I don't know what's going on. We had the Ripsy Dipsy, and then now we have the Super Cooper Hobbies. This is great. I hope this theme continues. Super fun. Okay, so the type of channel is brick films and book reviews, and the goal of the channel is mostly for fun, although full-time is a dream. And the question, my channel has multiple different topics. What is a good way to tie it together for my audience and for audience targeting? So when it comes to this, you're kind of doing it in reverse. So the idea is that you want to target the audience and then make content around that, right? So instead of saying like, hey, I'm making all this content on, all these random things, and now I got to try to think of like how I'm going to shoehorn this in to make it fit for my viewer. Instead of taking that approach, do it backwards and start running your content through a filter of, is this content something that, that the people that I'm trying to reach would care about? If the answer is yes, then make it, right? So like when it comes to the other content to where you're like, hey, is this content a great fit for the people I'm trying to reach? If the answer is no, then put it on another channel. Put it on another channel, or you just have another channel to where you just upload random content. But if you're trying, because you said full-time is a dream, so if you're trying to go full-time on YouTube and you actually want to see that through, then in that particular case on one channel, just focus on one type of or just not one type of content, but just focus on one audience that you're trying to reach. And within that one audience, you can make a bunch of different types of content for that one audience. You just have to make sure that you're thinking through, is this a good fit, right? Before you publish that content. So it's not about making people watch other videos. It's about you as the channel owner. It's about you thinking of who am I trying to reach with what it is that I'm doing and making sure that you're making content for those people that you're trying to reach. Next question that we have here on this list is from Gujan. Gujan says that they have a Minecraft channel. The goal is to tell stories about history in Minecraft and such. And let's see here. So the question is, I feel like my channel's in a slump. The videos I make, I feel are high quality and they get good retention, but the CTR isn't that high and I don't know what to do. Should I not go for homepage? Absolutely. Like go for homepages, like go for all of it, right? Like go for the gold. But here's the thing. If your click-through rate isn't that good, make sure that you're keeping in mind your click-through rate compared to the amount of impressions that you're getting, right? But in addition to that, if your click-through rate isn't very good and you've noticed that, then that means that instead of not going for home and looking at it as like, okay, well, it's just not good right now. I'm not getting a good response there. So I'm just gonna, shut that down. I encourage you to start thinking of it from the perspective of, okay, my click-through rate isn't that good. Therefore, what do I need to learn in order to get my click-through rate better? So what you need to learn in that particular case, in terms of, like your click-through rate, is you got to learn how to make sure that you're coming up with good topics, because that impacts your click-through rate. The actual topic of the video, super important, because, if the topic doesn't resonate, then you're dead in the water in terms of the whole video. But then you got to think of the thumbnail, right? Because that's the thing that's going to help, grab somebody's attention. So for example, if you are targeting, a very specific audience, you want to make sure that you're using imagery, or if you decide to use text in your thumbnails, you want to make sure that you're using text and or imagery that that is going to help people identify that the content that you're making is something that they might be interested in. So when it does show up on a homepage, they can identify that it's something that they're interested in. From there, if they look at the title, then you have to, start working on, learning how to make better titles. So, when you notice that your click-through rate isn't high, or if there's anything else that isn't, hitting the metrics that you want, instead of saying like, okay, well, that's it, I'm just not going to, go for it anymore. Just start thinking of it from, I mean, you think of it any way that you want, but I'm just saying, I just encourage you to start thinking of it from a different perspective, instead of looking at it like, hey, it's low there, so just let's not even try to go after it. I encourage you, because that's where most of the traffic is on YouTube and their recommendation features. So because of that, I recommend that you start thinking like, okay, I'm not getting that, I'm not getting the result that I want from that particular surface in terms of home pages. So therefore, I need to actually spend a lot of time working on trying to get that attention from the home pages, right? So learning how to, craft better titles, come up with better topics, and, also create thumbnails that will help somebody identify that content's something that they're interested in. That's what it is that you're after. Let's see here. Next up on our list here, as we're cruising through these, we're like 19 in. This is great. We're like flying through these. This is great. Okay, so let's see here. Next up on our list here, we have Talal Khan. Says that they do entertainment like reacts and roasts. The goal of the channel, I want to be a big entertainment channel. And the question, how do I grow my channel without search, like just from home pages and recommendations, because I make entertainment stuff and I can't rank them in search. And if you can review my channel live, that would be appreciated. So I'm not going to review your channel live, but in terms of getting the attention from home pages and recommendations in general, I just went over all of that, so I think that we have your question taken care of there, because we went over that like a few different times during the stream today so far. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, we've got Little Man Legos. Little Man Legos says that they do stop motion and gaming mostly, and the goal of the channel is to hit 1 million subscribers. And the question, what games and stop motion are most people into nowadays? No idea. No idea. So in that particular case, like I have no idea what games and, oh my gosh, I just closed the form on accident. I have no idea what games, people are into these days, outside of, just doing some research on it and figuring it out. Man, hold on really quick. I gotta skip up here to the spot that I was in. I think I was around number 20 on questions. Yeah, I was on number 20, I believe. But anyway, yeah, that's something that you have to dig into for the type of content that you make. Do some research, figure out, what it is that people are into most. In terms of you doing entertainment content, I would definitely be on Google Trends, so that you can, make sure that you are, making entertainment content around things that are trending when possible, when it applies to what it is that you're doing. But you also want to make sure that you are coming up with some, unique, original, things for what it is that you're doing as well. David Ventures says they do bi-weekly content. And let's see here. The type of channel says, I'm not sure what this means. Okay, that's cool. And the goal of the channel says making videos of Scotland because I love photography and video. Super cool. And the question, if you have left your channel dormant for a while, not done anything to it, can you breathe new life into it and reignite it? I've only got 63 subscribers. It goes up slowly. It's so frustrating. So yeah, if you leave your channel dormant for a while, then of course, it can kind of taper off over time. It takes some time to happen, but it can taper off over time. But within that though, just come back to it, start, publishing again, start publishing on a regular basis, try to be consistent if you can, and, just try to do the best that you possibly can to continually put out content and to continually try to make each video better than the last one. Science-Based Fitness, thank you for the super chat. I just wanted to say happy holidays. Also, Spider-Man was awesome. The Matrix was also awesome, by the way. So we got a little sneak peek of that over here. So we actually found a theater today. We actually went and hung out over there and waited until the last minute, because I'm being like super safe about the whole, thing that's going on in the world right now. So we went over there and we like waited until the last minute. I'm literally, because they show a seating chart in the app that I use for the local movie theater here. So I'm literally there, sitting there, and I'm like, okay, let's refresh it. We're like at the time the movie's starting. Let's see, like how many people are in there. And there were like 3 other people in the whole theater as us. So we're like, yes, we're gonna go for it. And we went in. We just watched the Matrix Resurrection in IMAX. We did that today. Awesome, great movie. So I think it comes out on HBO on like the 22nd. I think it comes out in theaters in the States on the 22nd. But we got we got it over here right now. But it was awesome. Really enjoyed it. They had a lot. They went really heavy on the nostalgia side and trying to make those connections between the old movies and the new one. But it was good. Super happy with it. Okay, so next, let's see here. So we're on question number 22. So on this next question here, we have our ARFF World, and they do aircraft crash news. And the goal of the channel is to study and review plane crashes to be a better fireman. Study and review plane crashes to be a better fireman. Question: how big of a factor is niche in reaching 100,000 subscribers? Pretty big. And it's not necessarily just like, a lot of people when they think niche, they think like, okay, that means that I have to only make content about this one thing all the time. Instead of thinking of it from that perspective, I encourage you to just think of it from the audience that you're after perspective. So, like with the content that you're putting out, because you're doing like aircraft crash news, there's going to be a specific demographic of people that are going to be interested in that type of content. You are probably familiar with who those people are. So because of that, when it comes to the content that you're choosing to put out on your channel, all you got to do is think of it from the perspective of, okay, this particular piece of content I'm getting ready to put out, maybe it's not even like a crash, where we're covering the, the actual crash itself. Maybe I put out a video about things that cause, like 10 things that causes planes to go down or something like that, or 10 of the most common causes for planes to go down as an example, then that would still be a good fit for that particular audience because it might be something that those people would be interested in, even though it might seem like, hey, it's a different type of content because it's, it's not news on a particular plane crash, but it's still something that particular audience, could be interested in. So instead of thinking of it as a content limitation, think of it as, I'm making content for a specific audience. Therefore, I just need to make sure that what I'm putting out is a good fit for those people. Oh, let's see here. Next up on our list here, we've got Keelvin. Keelvin says they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is for fun and to grow. Question: do you have any advice for getting your audience to watch different types of content than you usually post? I'm a gaming channel that got success by a specific game, and I'm trying to expand to other games, but the audience doesn't easily follow. So if you are trying to build that bridge into additional content, one thing that I recommend that you do, I'm not sure how big your channel is right now, but if you do have access to your community tab, start polling your community on a regular basis. As a gaming content creator, start polling them and start trying to figure out. You can also do this if you don't have the community tab right now. You can ask them to let you know other games that they play down in your comment section. Open up a spreadsheet, start tracking all the information and all the feedback that you get based on the questions that you're asking. And over a relatively short amount of time, you're going to have a glaring indicator of other games that you can play. That if you happen to be interested in those games, other games that you can play on your channel, that at least a certain percentage of your audience, also plays, so that it might be relevant to them as well. So, so with that, I would just kind of sprinkle that type of content out. So let's say, for example, I love using the Call of Duty and GTA example, but let's say, for example, you're doing the Call of Duty content. In that particular case, you would run those polls. If you do find that people put out, a lot of people are playing GTA as well, then in that case, drop a GTA video and just see how it performs. And then maybe drop, another Call of Duty video after that one, another Call of Duty video, then another GTA video, right? And just kind of rinse and repeat that process to help you kind of expand out from there. Let's see here. Next up, and if you are just joining us, basically what we're doing right now is we are talking about YouTube. We're talking about, growing YouTube channels. We're talking about, targeting, the right audiences with YouTube. We've talked about all kinds of different stuff in terms of click-through rate and audience retention and all this other complicated, it seems, stuff, when you're just getting started. But I promise you, if you are just getting started on YouTube, like as you progress through all this, a lot of everything that I'm talking about is going to become second nature for you. But, right now you're at that very first, point of your YouTube channel and your journey. So because of that, for some of you, some of this stuff can sound like complicated, but it's really not. It's just going through that, learning curve and learning, all of the different stuff that I'm talking about. But the next question that we have here is from Sweetie's Cat World. Sweetie's Cat World says that they do, they have a cat channel, and the goal of the channel is to share my cat. And the question: what is the best site to sell merch on for YouTube? That would be Spreadshop, spreadshop.com. They have great quality over there. They ship internationally. Not all of the places that you're gonna, that are available, not all of them ship internationally, which then causes problems. I actually found that out the hard way. But yeah, Spreadshop, they ship internationally. The quality of the stuff that you get from there is awesome. They have great support. So if something does get lost in that particular case, then you can just hit them up and they'll help you figure it out. But all the way around, Spreadshirt's awesome. Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. Hey, man, I don't see that check mark next to your name yet. Shouldn't you have a check mark next to your name? Now, were you able to hit YouTube up on chat by any chance? Let's see here. I'm actually going to pull up your channel really quick. As long as I can get it down here. Give me 1 second. Actually, I'll just look for your response. Okay, so next up. The next question that we have here on our list is from, okay, we did Sweetie's Cat World. So next up we have Agent Murden. Agent Murden says they do a Sea of Thieves gaming channel, and the goal of the channel is both guides to help and entertain. Mainly, I just enjoy making videos. Super cool. And the question, for my videos, I have intro clips of a funny moment from my recent streams. I think it helps me be unique and helps my branding, but not great for my retention. I'm debating whether or not I should get rid of it. Any thoughts? If it hurts your retention, get rid of it. That's the easy filter, right? If it hurts your retention, get rid of it. So, you know, in a lot of cases, like logo intros, you know, like that type of thing, it can end up, you know, hurting the overall performance of your channel. So, because of that, just make sure that you are paying really close attention. I'm glad that you are, because you're in there looking. You're like, hey, this is cool for my branding, but people aren't really responding to this. Like that right there tells you that using that as your intro is the wrong choice, and that you should experiment with trying some other things there and see if you can find something that people do respond to better. Just finally submitted that. Thanks for letting me know about that. Okay, cool. All right, next up. Next up on our list here, we've got Fit Dad Chris. What's up, Chris? Man, hope you're doing awesome. Says fitness lifestyle. Goal of the channel, I created my channel to inspire people that it is possible to change your life no matter what. And the question, doesn't reaching 200 subscribers rank you in the top 5 to 10% of people who start YouTube channels, or is that just something I imagined? Feel like I heard it somewhere before. I'm not sure off the top of my channel when it comes to the 2,000 subscribers, but I know once you hit like 1,000, like you are, you know, you're doing fantastic. Like if you hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, you're doing better than a lot of people that start YouTube channels, because a lot of people will quit before they get there. Let's see here. So next up on our list, we've got, and if you got questions, make sure you put them down in the form below, because I'm pulling these out of the form. I'm going to pull some out of the chat here as well. But actually, you know, right now, if you got a question, just go ahead and put a Q in front of your question, or just write question in front, either one, and go ahead and drop your question right here in the chat if you do have a question. I'll pull some out of here real quick, and then we'll jump back into the form as well right here in a minute. But if you want your question like prioritized, then definitely make sure that you get it in the form, because right here we just got a few more questions until you know, like I'm out of questions here. So because of that, you know, if you get your question in there, there's a really good chance it's going to get it's going to get answered here. So let's see here. So as we keep on going, silver play button ordered 2. Nice, man. Love it. So thanks for your advice. Now I have 41,000 subscribers. Love from Thailand. Oh, super cool. I'm in Thailand too. I'm up in Chiang Mai. So awesome to see that you have 41,000 subscribers. Nice work there, Peachy View. I'm actually going to pull up your YouTube channel here, see if I've seen you around town. Let's see here. Peachy View. Peachi View. Anime stuff. Super cool. So you are a VTuber. Nice. Dig it. Super cool. Nice work. Yeah, congratulations to you on 41,000 subscribers. Definitely not going to be able to tell by the anime if I've seen you around town. So let's see here. So next up on our list, we did have some other super chats come through as well that have been brought to my attention. So let me bring those to the front here as well. So on the Blind Life Gaming, I already got that one covered. And let's see here, for Shenanigans.
Super chat.
10 p.m. my channel and view stats just dropped to almost 0, like someone flipped a switch. It is just now starting to climb again. Any idea? So I'm not sure what it went from 0 from. So let's say that you had, I mean, the different possibilities are, you had, you know, traffic that was, hey Deo, what's up, man? If you had, you know, traffic that was a lot of traffic that was coming in from suggested videos, or a specific suggested video, then that particular video took a hit for whatever reason, for, you know, to where they took a hit in traffic, then that can ripple down to you, and that can cause those types of things. In addition to that, there's also reporting issues that pop up on YouTube from time to time, to where, you know, stats will just kind of bottom out, or they'll be blank for a while. Typically, when those types of things happen, you'll see it pop up at some point in time. You'll see it pop up as a notification in your Creator Studio to help you, you know, make sure that you are mindful of that. when those types of events happen. But if you did notice that everything dropped to 0, but it's starting to climb back up again, what I would do is I would go into your traffic sources report in your advanced mode of your analytics, keep it on the line chart. And when you do that, then what you're going to see is you're actually going to see your traffic sources there, and then just look for, your traffic sources and look for, the drop-offs from the different sources to see if you notice anything. In addition to that, also keep in mind that with the type of content that you make, because I don't know what you're making, it's also possible that your content could have gotten reported for something, and that it went into that either your channel or the specific videos got put in restricted mode. So because of that, I encourage you to open up your YouTube app on your phone, and it'd be better if it was on like a friend's phone or something, but basically open it up, go into your settings for the app and put your phone into restricted mode, and then go look at your YouTube channel page and your video page, and you're going to see videos hidden that have been hit with the restricted mode. So I would definitely look at that. All right. Let's see here. Baywood Audio.
Super chat.
Thank you for the super sticker there. I appreciate it. And let's see here. Okay, so Will Star says, I'm going to be purchasing a new laptop this weekend, MacBook Pro or Dell XPS, or something else. I make Bigfoot encounter videos, just went through 13,000 subscribers. High five and fist bump to you for 13,000. So when it comes to like Mac versus PC stuff, like I've got both, and I can tell you that the only thing that would make me buy another Mac would be Logic Pro. If it wasn't for Logic Pro, I would never buy another Mac. I won't say never, but I wouldn't buy another Mac. I love the ecosystem. I've got the phone, I've got the watch, I've got tablets, and I've got the laptop. But in terms of my experience that I have with that compared to the experience that I have with a PC, and in addition to that, the amount of PC that you can get for what you spend on a Mac are substantially different. So because of that, if it was, if it wasn't for Logic Pro, I wouldn't use the Mac for anything. Now, look, I know they have the M1 chip. I have not, in transparency here, I haven't had the opportunity to experiment with that one yet. However, for everything else, the only thing that might make me go back to that would be that M1 chip, and that would only be if I was making, videos to where they were just super intensive on the actual edit itself, because like the Dell XPS, for example, crushes through 4K video. It, handles, the editing software, handles, high res footage, without any problems whatsoever. So, for the price, you'll probably make out better on the XPS. But of course, if you're into the ecosystem, if you got a phone, watch, all that good stuff, in that case, then Mac might make more sense for you. Now, if there's a Mac enthusiast here, they're probably going to tell you completely opposite. They're going to give you all these reasons why the Macs are better, and they might be. But I'm just saying, for my personal, experience and how I use computers, for me, if it wasn't for Logic Pro, I would never get another Mac. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list, let's see here. Just gonna look here in the chat here really quick for any questions, and it looks like Shorts Craft says, "Hey Nick, a lot of my shorts are getting 1,000 to 3,000 views, but it really doesn't go above that. My retention is around 90%. There's a big drop off at the last half second. Is it the engagement? So try making your videos just a tad bit shorter. So if you're getting cut off at that, that last half second, instead of making your videos like 60 seconds, make them like 58 seconds, and see if that fixes that problem of that fall off right there at the end. Just try making them a little bit shorter, see if it makes a difference, because sometimes it does. In addition to that, if your retention is around 90%, keep in mind it's a short. So to be competitive there, you actually want, of course you want high retention, but you also want people looping your videos. So I personally think it's a little bit weird that these platforms, just to go on a rant here for a second, I think it's weird that like a lot of these platforms are actually incentivizing creators to mislead viewers by driving them into a loop so that it will keep them on the platform longer, so that they can, track that person as somebody that's on the platform longer, so they can use that for, their ad rates and all that good stuff. So like for me, I think it's a little bit weird, but, because it kind of goes against, right? Cause like one of the things that all of these platforms want is their viewers to have that great viewer experience. And when people are getting tricked into loops, I just think it's a waste of the viewer's time, and I think it's not cool. However, it's one of the things that, people do to get more views on their shorts is they trick people into loops and things like that so that they'll watch that video more than one time, which then in turn causes the videos to perform better. They'll watch it for, like a time and a half before they realize like, oh, I just watched this already. They just kind of drove me into a loop. So because of that, just keep that sort of thing in mind when it comes to your shorts and your shorts performance. Oh, let's see here. Everybody saying hi to each other. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, let's see here. Very important question. How much normal time does YouTube take to? Okay. So a very important question. How much normal time does it take YouTube to evaluate video by all aspects and decide to rank? So I've ranked videos in Google and Yahoo, listen to me, and YouTube. And I think the fastest I've seen it on my side with my content, the fastest I've seen it, I think, is it's either, I've got screenshots of it, but it's either like 4 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that. So it can happen like almost instantaneously. So basically you just have to publish the video and people have to start responding to it. So if you're like a brand new channel and this platform doesn't have any data for your channel and you publish that video, it might take it a while to even show up or be presented in YouTube search. So because of that, it might be a little bit more, it might take you a little bit more time. Whereas when I publish a video on my channel, even, like, and it's been this way for a long time, when I publish a video on my channel, right out of the gate, it starts collecting data on how people respond to that. And as part of, what the system does, is it starts testing it in all these different, places. And one of those places is search. So because of that, it starts collecting that data. People are responding positively to this. So let's try it in search. And then because of that, it can show up there, relatively fast. Same exact thing for Google, to where, it will show up there relatively fast as well. And if you are targeting search, always keep in mind YouTube search and the textual search engines, because the textual search engines also show video results for certain things. Professor Nez in the house. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. Hope I didn't blow anybody's ears out with that. Okay, so let's hear as we keep on going down the list. DIY audio guy. Thank you. Super chat says, do you have any experience using YouTube's API to download data? I'm not fond of the default analytics. Would rather do it myself. So you don't even have to do that. Like what you can do is you can actually go into your well, first off, no, I'm not, like in terms of me tapping into YouTube's API to download data. No. However, I'm working with other people that are doing that because we're building some products for content creators. So I'm working with other people that, that do that, but I don't have that experience myself. I'm not, like a coder or anything. But basically, another thing that you might want to experiment with is basically you can go into your advanced mode in your analytics, and then you can, click the little blue plus icon to add whatever information it is that you want. And because they do limit the sorting for some specific things, within your analytics to where you can't just click on that and sort by that. One thing that you can do, if that's one of the things that's causing you headaches, is you can actually download that as a CSV, or you can just open it up in a Google Sheet, and then you can go ahead and start applying whatever math it is that you want to it and sorting however it is that you want and things like that. So that might be a thing to start with while you are, trying to figure out the API side. Let's see here. So how many months, Flavorful says, how many months to start becoming famous? I'm stuck at 3,400 subs. Just wondering, I have only 2 to 3 months caring about title and thumbnail tags and so on. Okay, so care about that stuff for the next year and see where you're at a year from now. And just as a heads up, you've already got 3,400 people that are subscribed to your YouTube channel, which means that you've had, a lot more views in total than that. And, you already, just a heads up, you already are, lightweight famous, a little bit. So, just keep that in mind. If you are trying to, become YouTube famous, you're on your way, you're off to a good start. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through the list here, my pleasure, Nutella Toast Girl. Hope that you're making some cool Nutella toast recipes over there. Hope that's what you're doing. By your channel name, that's what I think you're doing. Hey, let's do something fun real quick. I'm going to start picking channel names and just give you a first impression of what I think that might be about. So let's see here. Ukulele expressions. I'm guessing you're teaching people about ukulele. Let's see here. Just started my channel based on my book I wrote of instrumental ukulele music, working on content ideas other than video examples of the pieces like how-to plays and info that is an intro. Yeah, cool. So that one's pretty clear. Gaming dude, I'm guessing that you're doing gaming content. Hunting fake polyglot YouTubers. Not sure what a polyglot is. I haven't actually walked down that avenue yet. Let's see here. Magic Flying Potato. I know what he does, but I'm thinking like, he's doing like, like farming maybe, because that potato part. Deo. Yeah, for that one, I would be complete. Like, I have no idea what that one would be, but he's got a question. So let's answer the question. Says, is there any way to get a human to review of a video that doesn't have any copyright claims or suitable for some advertisers, can only find the option if there's a restriction on it? Yeah, for YouTube, no. Like, you're not going to be able to get them to look at your content and give you feedback on your content. So yeah, that's not something that they offer over there. But what you can do is you're a channel member. So like in your case, if you want feedback on it, you could definitely drop it in our Facebook group in the list there, inside of the Facebook group where, we look at, channels and videos and all that good stuff and give you feedback. In addition to that, you have people like Daniel Batal, Roberto Blake, Brian G. Johnson, Daryl Eves, Tim Schmoyer, all these people out there that offer, and that's just naming a few off the top of my head, but you have all these people out there that also, work one-on-one with content creators. So you can also, reach out to one of them to see if they could check out your stuff and give you their feedback based on, their experiences. Professor, happy holidays and happy new year to you as well, man. I hope that you have a great holiday season. So let's see here as I keep on going down this list. I'm going to hop back into the forum right here in just a second. Un momento, por favor. And then we are going to go. Okay, question. Is there a way to change your analytics, top search terms specifically? So with that, you can do it at the channel level, but you can't do it at the video level. So what you do is you basically go in and you look at your search. You go into your traffic sources, look at search. And then when you look at that, you're going to see you click into that one, and then you'll see the keywords that are driving the channel or driving the activity. So you finally did it. Signed up to StreamYard test live tonight. Thanks for your ongoing inspiration. Awesome. Great to see that. And hey, man, just a heads up too, like if you are still wanting to do like the 24/7 live stream, definitely hit me up about that, and I can tell you what you need to do there. Let's see here. So as we keep on going here, I have no idea. I saw news where T-Series got a copyright strike from Vivo. Is that true? I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into the forum here, and we're going to start answering some of those as well. But first, before I do, says, hey, Nick, hope you're doing fantastic. I am. Thank you, Saman. I hope that you're also doing fantastic. Says, how many hashtags can we use in the description? So in the description, you can use up to 15, and if you go over 15, it invalidates all of them. But only the first 3 are going to show up underneath your video. And as a quick tip for you, if you are using hashtags for your videos, and this is for everyone here, if you're using hashtags in your videos or in your descriptions and they're showing up underneath your video, make sure that before you commit to a hashtag that you actually research that hashtag so that you can make sure that your video is going to be showing up somewhere that's going to help bring in traffic, because you're not using those hashtags just as a way to tell YouTube what the video is about, because they already know that through all the other information that you gave them. You're using the hashtags as a way to pull traffic from the results pages when people actually click on that hashtag from other videos. So because of that, just make sure that when you are using those hashtags that you do the research on the other end so that you can make sure that the hashtag that you're using is appropriate for the content that you're making and for the people that you're trying to bring into your content. Let's see here as we keep on going down this list. Okay, we're jumping back into the forum. We're going back to the forum. We're going for this forum here. Okay, so next up here, coming from the forum, we've got On the Couch. On the Couch says they do reactions and reviews. The goal of the channel is to eventually make it a job. I love what I do. It's awesome. So really quick, if the goal of your channel is to eventually make it a job, make sure that you are getting your monetization options into place right now. And the reason for that is because as your channel grows, and I say this all the time, so if you're here a lot, it's going to sound repetitive, but as your channel grows, your income will grow. So because of that, you have, AdSense that you can make money from. But, there's also a lot of other ways to make money on YouTube. So I would just go ahead and start implementing some of those things now. So for example, you can do crowdfunding like Patreon and Ko-Fi and Buy Me a Coffee, things like that. You can also offer merch through like Spreadshirt or Spreadshop, either one of those, because they're all the same place. But basically, offering, that type of stuff, you can take a link and put it in your description, even if you don't have the short shelves available. If you have any, based on the type of content you have, if there is anything that you can bring attention to as an affiliate, do it. If there's anything that you can think of from a sponsor perspective, start, you don't have to reach out to them right now, but just go ahead and start listing out, right? Like these are all the people, all the different companies in my space that I might be able to reach out to for sponsorships in the future, things like that. Go ahead and start getting all that stuff together like now. Let's see here. But the question is, how do I make my call to action more fun? Feels like it's getting stale and predictable. I usually ask right before I do the reaction. So it depends on what your call to action is. So if your call to action is to subscribe, for example, then in that particular case, what you want to do is you just would want to tell them as quickly as you possibly can why it is that they should subscribe to your YouTube channel. You don't have to go into this big long thing, but just simply let them know, hey, every, Tuesday or every week I put out content like this. I do in your case, reactions and reviews. So, like every week I do reaction reviews content. So if you want to see, a lot of great reactions, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, right? So then you're kind of leading them into it. If you're doing a call to action for them to comment, then in that case, don't just say comment. Because if you just say comment, then some people will, but most people won't. So what you want to do is you want to ask them a question that they can easily answer down in the comments as well. That's going to increase the amount of people that are going to leave you comments, because then they don't have to actually think of the comment because you've led them into it. All they got to do is answer a question. So those are the types of things that you want to think about. Next up on the list is, wrong one. Next up here, we've got Jerry Papandrea, and Jerry says that they do food appreciation and recipes. The goal of the channel is to build a community around delicious food, not just food, build a community around delicious food. Question, is it possible? The impressions that you get as a small channel go to users who aren't familiar with how YouTube works, like subscribe, and that as you gain momentum, the quality of the YouTube user seeing your video improves. No. Of course, there's always new people coming onto YouTube, and there's always, like experienced people on YouTube. But in terms of who YouTube is showing your content to, they're testing it against, all kinds of different users. So because of that, that's why it's so important to make sure that when you're first getting started and trying to get that initial momentum, that you're continuing to make content for a very specific audience. Did I lose a camera? No. That you're making content for a specific audience so that YouTube can quickly understand who the right people is to show your content to. And it doesn't matter like if they're a new user, if they just created their account today, or if they've been on YouTube for 10 years, doesn't matter. Let's see here as we keep on going. The Landlord Advocates says they do educational type content. The goal of the channel is, our motto is helping landlords become better landlords. And the question, hey Nick, we use red background and white fonts with 2 pictures for our thumbnail. Is it wise to alter this occasionally, or should we stay with our branding? Okay. If you are committed to a thumbnail style, always experiment. And the reason that you want to experiment is because you could be committed to your branding, and that branding could be working against you if it's not getting a high response in terms of, people clicking on it. So because of that, always experiment with what it is that you're doing on your thumbs. Like if you look through the history of my channel, you'll see, and I'm actually running, like A/B tests right now too. But like, if you go through the history of my channel, like you'll see that, I have like, templates that I find that people respond to, like particular pictures that people respond to more than other pictures, things like that. And then I'll start using those more because people will respond to those. So then I'll switch it from one template to another one for a while, and then maybe back to that other one to see if people, would still respond to it in the same way, and so on. So just make sure that you're always testing stuff. Like one thing that I'm testing, right now is I did a whole other video topic on the YouTube studio hacks, because I want to start stepping a little bit outside of the, YouTube, help space, because I've got tons of content on that, and I can always just lead people into that content. But I also want to make some other stuff to help you guys besides just saying the same thing all the time. So because of that, I put out a video, and it tanked, but I put out a video about, YouTube studio hacks. And on that particular one, I did a completely different type of thumbnail for that one, just to see, if people would, would respond to that thumbnail, and they didn't. So I'm actually testing that with different thumbnails and stuff right now, seeing what I can do to see if I can get that video moving. So we'll see. The retention isn't bad, but the click-through rate on that video sucked. So let's see here. So Shorts Craft says they do Minecraft shorts. The goal of the channel is to make shorts, and they want to show people Minecraft tricks. They like making shorts, and they want to show people Minecraft tricks. Question, hey Nick, so I'm currently getting 1,000 views on my shorts, but is there a way to get more? Most of my videos ended around 80% retention. One video got 300,000. That blew me up, but the retention isn't really that great. Is it the engagement? Yeah, it could be the engagement, but the retention. But here's the thing when it comes to YouTube. Fortunately, but unfortunately for us, fortunately, it's not just like one thing, right? So it's not just your retention. It's not just your click-through rate. It's not just your engagement. Like, it's all of the things, right? And in addition to that, you also start building authority on the channel itself by having people coming back to the channel on a regular basis. Like, there's tons of stuff going on when it comes to, you know, what makes YouTube show content to people. But at the end of the day, like, retention is extremely heavily weighted. Click-through rate is extremely heavily weighted, and engagement is heavily weighted. And engagement by itself is also watch time. So, you know, the amount of time people spend watching your content. So because of that, when it comes to your shorts, one thing, like if you had 300,000 views on that, that could be why the retention isn't that great. When it first started, the retention was probably higher on it, but as they started showing it to more and more people, the people that are qualified in terms of being a perfect fit for that, those initial people that see it are that, but then as it shows it to more and more people, and as, you know, the video starts to slow down because of it, they become less and less qualified to be an ideal fit for that piece of content. And because of that, that's where things will slow down a little bit and stuff like that. But your retention gets impacted. And if it was a long form video where they have to click on it, that also gets impacted as well with the, you know, with the additional impressions that that you get on a video like that. So so because of that, when you are looking at the retention and you're looking at the retention of your 1,000 views video compared to your 300,000 views, also consider the actual impressions for both of them as well, because that's going to have a substantial impact. So let's see here as we keep on trucking through this list here. Yeah, we're up to like 30. Let's see here. We're at like 30 questions now. So this next one I'm going to click it right now. So this next one here is going to be 31. That's pretty awesome. Not including any of the ones I pulled out of the chat. That's like cruising through it today. So let's see. I'm going to scroll up here, see if I see them. And I think I just saw one. Okay, we did that one from DIY Audio Guy. So let me just keep on pulling this down. We're just going to keep on talking here as I'm sitting here trying to find this. And we're just going to see how it goes, because I want to pin, because there's a couple super chats here. I want to make sure I pin them to the screen if possible, if I can find them here. So let's see here. Okay, so we're just, you know what, I'm just going to have to pull them out of this other thing and go from there. Okay, so here's one. Fit Dad Chris says,
Super chat.
here's why I'm here. Just that one question answered, and now I'm going and removing excessive hashtags. I'm very grateful for the help, Nick. My pleasure, man. Yeah, so like when it comes to, you know, hashtags and just all this stuff, you know, like I think that that's one of the reasons that, you know, a lot of people hang out here in the streams, because, you know, like you can be doing a lot of things, but then sometimes just, you know, like a little, you know, tip like that will come out, and it might, you know, be something just a little bit outside of the sphere of, you know, what we normally talk about here. So I'm glad that was valuable for you. Let's see here. So as I keep on going down this list here, I'm just going to hop into that if I can't find it. And I found it. Okay, Emily. So Emily says, I'm about to hit the road so I can travel to see my birth parents, who I just found 2 years ago, to share my story, interviews with the fam, and places my dog and I visit along the way. Any advice for the channel? Absolutely. The channel's about you, right? Channel's about you, your experience, you going to see your birth parents, you and your dog, and where it is that you guys are going and the experiences that you guys are having. It's about you. So what you want to do is you want to understand that, hey, this is about me. I'm going to grow this fan base around me and the things that I'm doing with my life. However, as you're doing that with every single piece of content that you're publishing, also think to yourself, how can I make this also about the viewer? How can I make sure that I'm adding value to the viewer within this content as well? And with every video that I'm putting together, I want to define what that value is. So when it comes to the actual topic, I want to define, okay, this thing that I'm going to be sharing with people, why would this be important for people? So this particular location that I'm going to with my dog, like why would this be important to people? And you want to define it. And by defining it, that's going to help you know how to actually leverage that piece of content. But you want to define it. And then you also want to do the same exact thing with your thumbnail. So when I make the thumbnail for this, this is a place that me and my dog went to. So instead of just focusing the whole thing on me, since I'm trying to reach new viewers, if instead of focusing the whole thumbnail on like me and my dog, in that particular case, you know, what would be the best approach to reach somebody that would be interested in this particular location that I went to, right? So you just want to consider those types of things, but just consider with every action that you're taking with the content, it's about you, but how can you also make it about the viewer, and how can you also make sure that you're adding value to the viewer? Now, we all interpret value in different ways, but value comes in the form of entertainment. It comes in the form of knowledge. It comes in the form of motivation, you know, inspiration, all that stuff, making people think in different ways. You know, it comes in a bunch of different ways, but just make sure that when you're putting your content together, that you are being mindful of that, and that you're not one of those people that are like, hey, I'm just making videos about myself and like that's it, and like that should be good enough for everybody. Like that's great if you're making like family videos, but if you want other people to, you know, enjoy that content as well, I really encourage you to also make sure that you just think about their experience and how your content is, you know, like what it is that they would get out of each piece of content that you upload. If you focus on doing that and you focus on, you know, fine tuning that over time, then you should do okay. Let's see here. Willstar says, how long should it take to go from 13,000 to 100,000 subs? Any advice to expedite that process? Also, any membership perk suggestions for a Bigfoot channel? So in terms of membership perks for you for a Bigfoot channel, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. If anybody in the chat has any ideas, definitely lay them out. In terms of the how long it should take to get from 13,000 to 100,000, there are so many variables involved that there's like no way to even predict that. So, you know, you could put out another handful of videos because your channel's like massively on the rise right now. So you could put together a handful of, additional videos that go out, and those videos by themselves, like the next 5 videos could take you to 100,000 if people respond to them at a high rate. Or you could make some really bad content decisions. It happens to us all. You could make some, really bad content decisions. And by making those bad content decisions, you could, make it to where people aren't really responding to the following videos that you're putting out. And because of that, you just keep relying on that one video to keep pushing you forward, or the handful of videos that are currently pushing you forward now. So, when it comes to predicting how long to get to 100,000, you definitely just want to keep those things in mind. But what you want to make sure that you're doing to expedite the process is you want to make sure that you are paying really close attention to the content that people respond to highly on your channel, in terms of, the click, in terms of the watch time that you're getting, in terms of the engagement, the stuff that people are liking, the stuff that people are disliking, because that's also going to give you indications on, like, hey, a lot of people are disliking this, but a lot more people are liking it. But I wonder why so many people disliked this particular video, right? So you can start trying to pull some insights from that. In addition to that, also making sure that you are like, because I'm not sure with your channel, I'm not sure exactly, the specific videos that you're putting out. But if you do find that, okay, I'm putting out videos, even though it's targeted for the same audience, I've got like these different pillars of content that I'm putting out, start grouping those together. And inside of your analytics, you have the grouping feature. Start grouping those together so that you can start figuring out over time which content sets people respond to the most, as a set. And you can also apply that to your goals as well, in terms of, like, if you're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers and that's your goal, then prioritizing the content that typically drives more subscribers, and or digging into that content that typically drives more subscribers, in terms of the amount of people that are viewing it versus the amount of people that are converting over into a subscriber. For those particular videos, trying to dig into the psychological side of it and think to yourself, like, why are people subscribing to these videos more than they're subscribing to these videos over here, right? So by putting them into groups, that will help you uncover that. And also, like, if you're trying to get to 100,000, also just sorting by the videos that are driving the most subscribers in your analytics, that can also kind of lead you into, that same information. Let's see here. So as we keep on going down the list here, I think that brings us up to date on those. We're going to hop back over into the forum. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so next up, we've got Zol, I think is how you say that. I'm not sure. And the type of channel is gaming, mostly entertainment, not guide focused. And the goal of the channel says I'm uploading to make entertaining people and make someone's day. And the question is, I've been experimenting between games and have narrowed it down to 2 of them. How do I know which one I should follow down on? Whichever one you enjoy making the most. So like, if you're doing it for the sake of, like, hey, I'm putting this content out and I'm just enjoying this, like, I'm enjoying this experience, and, people are interacting with my stuff, then in that particular case, what you want to do is you want to be like, okay, which one of these 2 pieces of content do I really love the most? Which game do I love playing the most? Then in that case, that's the one you want to double down on. But if you find like people are digging, like this game and they're digging this game from you, then by all means, you can make content on both of them and you can still do awesome. So, just keep that in mind as well. Let's see here. So Every Game Matters. Thank you for the super chat. Says, hey Nick, I'm doing gaming content videos about Every Game Matters. Basically, the goal of this channel is to spread awareness that every game matters in their own way. So do I have to show my face on camera? No, you do not. So plenty of channels do fine on YouTube without showing them the face, but just keep in mind when you do show yourself on camera, that can help, just kind of humanize what it is that you're doing. Because, there's tons of content out there that doesn't have a face, and, that's perfectly fine. A lot of it does great. However, when you put a person into it, then all of a sudden they're connecting with that person, not the other imagery that's on the screen. So just keep that in mind.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Next up, we've got Fact-Do-Mill. Fact-Do-Mill says the type of channel is giving knowledge to people, fact-related only, and the goal of the channel is to provide value to the viewers and provide world facts. Question: I record my voice with no mic, and in some parts of my video, the voice is not good, and I can't even afford a mic. So for that reason, I want to ask: is a mic necessary for a YouTube video, and how to get more views? My only one short has gone viral till now. Yeah, that video got 418 views. So when it comes to the microphone, the idea when it comes to using a microphone with your videos is that the audio, the sounds that people are hearing during your video are half of the video experience. So because of that, you want to make sure that your audio is at least of a acceptable quality. So if you find that like, hey, my audio sounds like garbage, like it sounds, and I'm not sure how this is going to sound, but like it sounds like I'm coming from like, hey, I'm doing my video and it sounds like I'm coming from way over here, then in that particular case, you definitely want to get some type of microphone that you can use so that you can improve the audio, because you can see here as I get closer and closer how it sounds better. And because of that, what you want to think about is you want to think about, okay, I can spend $20 if you have $20 to put aside for this. I'm going to spend $20 on like a Boya BY-M1 lavalier mic. And by doing that, it's going to bring the audio source close to me. The pickup is going to be close to me. So therefore, it's going to help me improve my audio. Now, another tip that I have for you is if you have a smartphone. If you have a smartphone, you can just record your audio into your smartphone. So basically just use, if you're on Android or iPhone, either one, just get a recording app, like a voice note app, and you can record just right into that. And by recording right into that, just make sure that your phone, you don't have to be, with it right up to your mouth like this, but just keep it about this far, and turning it off just a little bit to the side can also be advantageous, so that certain words, like if you say pop, for example, the wind from your voice doesn't just go right into the microphone and create like a pop sound. So what you want to do in that case is you want to, just kind of move it to the side just a little bit. So when you make those noises, it kind of goes past it, but this is still picking up the audio from your voice. But basically just bringing it, relatively close to you, recording the actual audio for it, and then taking that audio and applying it to your video through the editing process will help you get better audio with what it is that you're doing. Next question that we have. And if you're just joining us, I'm pulling these questions from the form that is down in the description. So if you've got a question, go ahead and put your question that is in the form down in the description right now. So here, next up on our list is where do we get sound effects? Oops. So these sound effects, these are all custom. So like
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Yeah, like that one was created. That beat is actually mine, but the voiceover for that one is from Mike Russell. You can get those made over at Music Radio Creative, and they have like full packages and stuff. Really awesome service over there. Super happy with them. So that's where that one comes from. But I also have other ones like
Super Chat.
Like that, for example. That one was made by Travis MCP, is his YouTube channel, and he just made it and like sent it over. Super cool dude. He also made this one.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
And he also made this one here recently.
Welcome to the Nimminati Chill Mode.
Yeah, so basically for those, he just hooked me up with those. So that was a super cool thing to do. But in terms of the other ones, like if you need somebody to make some stuff for you, I can't recommend Music Radio Creative enough. Mike and his wife are just awesome. Isabella, they're just awesome when it comes to just audio in general. Like for example, they do a lot of work with like Adobe and things like that. Mike used to be in like radio and all that. Like they're really, really talented over there. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, we've got, I'm having problems with learning to edit and it's super frustrating. What's a noob app? iMovie on iPhone maybe? So here's the thing. With anything that anything new that you do, you have to go through that process, right? There are easier things, right? Like, iMovie on an iPhone might be the trick for you. Using Camtasia if you have a computer, because that's super easy. That might be the solution for you. Using something like LumaFusion, if you have a tablet, that might be if you have an iPad, that might be the answer for you, or KineMaster or something like that. But basically, when it comes to learning to edit, if you're going to be a video creator, like, you're going to need to learn how to edit your stuff. Like, I'm just being transparent with you here, but you're going to need to learn how to edit your stuff. And what you want to think about is anytime that you are, anytime that you are embarking on a new adventure, so to speak, or a new project or whatever it is, like, there's just things that you got to learn, right? So when you're learning those things, just when it comes to YouTube and learning how to edit, for example, like I just recently picked up a guitar. I'm not a guitar player. So because of that, I'm having to go through this frustrating, I'll use that word, having to go through this frustrating process of my fingers not working the way that I want them to. So because of that, and I've realized that problem, man, my pinky's super weak. Since my pinky's super weak, my ring finger also isn't that strong either, which I've, had to, come to that realization as well. So because of that, I had to go out and get a little device that I can exercise my fingers and try to, get my fingers a little bit stronger and try to get my coordination with my fingers a little bit better. Even though it's frustrating because it's like a limitation, so to speak. It's something that, I understand as part of the learning curve if I want to learn how to play just some basic stuff on the guitar so I can add some guitar stuff to my music. So because of that, YouTube is the same exact way with all of the different things that you need to learn. And when people are first getting started, that learning curve is a filter, right? And I mentioned this in other live streams, but that learning curve is a filter of the people that are going to make it and the people that won't. So basically, if you are embracing that learning curve and you're like, okay, my thumbnails suck, I'm going to learn how to make better thumbnails. My titles suck, I'm going to learn how to make better titles. My videos aren't that great, I'm going to learn how to make better videos. The people that are committed to that and that will put in that time, they're running through those filters. I don't know how to do this, I'm going to learn how to do it. Bam. You just leveled up. Okay, next problem. Don't know how to do it, going to learn how to do it. Bam, you just leveled up again. That filter is the thing that filters out the people that will, go through that process of figuring it out versus the people that won't. And the people that don't, that aren't willing to do that, are the people that will eventually, it might take some time, but there's the people that will eventually be like, you know what, this isn't worth doing, just because they do keep running into that frustration and all of those things that come along with that learning process. And that weeds out tons of YouTube content creators. So because of that, I encourage you to embrace the process of learning how to do all this stuff, because just like any other, thing that you're going to do as a hobby or professionally, there's just stuff that you got to learn how to do. And, editing is one of those things. So I really encourage you to just not get frustrated. I mean, you're going to get frustrated, but I encourage you to just look at it as hey, this is part of the learning curve. So I'm just going to embrace that. And I'm going to, just try to learn how to do the stuff the best that I can. I'm going to watch some videos on it. I'm going to, whatever I got to do to learn how to, edit videos. So Hellier Smith, I believe is how you say the first name, but he actually edits videos for Logan Paul. Great content over there. If you're trying to learn how to edit videos, I really encourage you to go check him out too, because in addition to the technical side of sliding my video here, cutting it here, making the clip a little shorter here, moving this clip over into here, adding a little crossfade or adding a transition, in addition to the technical side, there's also a lot of conceptual things that go into editing as well. And on his channel, he talks about all of that stuff. So I really recommend that you go and check his content out. Let's see here. Lachey says that she took an Adobe Premiere course and was super frustrated. Yeah, like with the editing software, right? It's hard to when you open up something like Adobe Premiere, right? There's all these buttons and all this stuff, and you don't even if you've never worked with software like that before, you'll see a pen tool. And you're like, what? I don't even know what that is. What are all these buttons? What are all these things over here? And they have an effect control panel. It's what is, I don't, what am I affecting here? What's this controlling? I don't even know what any of this stuff is. I don't even know, the specific things. Okay, this is a, let's see here. What would be an example for this one? So it'd be like white balance, right? Like, okay, so I'm messing around in the color profile stuff. Like, I don't even know how I ended up here. And there's a thing about white balance. Like, what is white balance? I don't even know what that is, right? So you have all of these complicated things within the software, and it can be, it can be intimidating. It can be frustrating. But that's where, using, like he was looking for, just easy to use apps and stuff. That's where, getting started with, something easy like an app or like Camtasia or Filmora, something like that. That's where those types of things are advantageous. Oh, wait a minute. I just had to skip by and I think I said, oh, Brian G. Johnson in the house. There he is. What's up, my dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. My man, Brian G. Johnson. So Brian's uploading again, y'all. So if you are watching Brian's content, then definitely get over there and start watching some videos because he is back on the upload schedule. And if you are not familiar with Brian G. Johnson, if you've not ran into his content yet, he is awesome when it comes to teaching people about YouTube. So if you are not watching his content yet, you definitely need to click on his channel name or just go into YouTube search, look for Brian G. Johnson, hit his channel, and go ahead and subscribe over there. Start watching his content because he'll teach you a ton of really good stuff about YouTube. Savvy Turtle, what's up, man? Nice to see you in here. Let's see here as we keep on going down the list. Eric Waite says, Brian G. Johnson in the house. Yep, got a superstar in the house. So trucking from scratch.
Super
so my channel is has about 85,000 subscribers, and all videos have been about starting a trucking business. I have more business information I could share outside of trucking, but I don't want to mess up the current channel. Any advice? If you have business information that you want to share with people that have trucking businesses, but it's not directly related to trucking, then I would just think of it from the perspective of, if it's business related information that would help the people that are doing the trucking content, then I just need to wrap trucking around it, right? But if it's like, this doesn't really, like this wouldn't really help them, then in that case, don't even put it on the channel. Create another outlet for it. Let them know that you have that outlet. Like, hey, I've got, this other information over here, whatever, podcast, whatever it happens to be. But basically, I would just keep serving the trucking crowd if those are the people that are responding to what it is that you're doing. But if you can find a way to wrap trucking around it. So for example, since you watch my content, I'll use mine as an example. So, since I reach YouTube content creators with my content, I could make skit videos. This is the example I like to give for this. I could make skit videos for my YouTube channel, and I'm considering it actually, just doing like an occasional one just to see how you guys respond to it. But I could make skit videos for my YouTube channel, but I wouldn't just do like random skits on like trending topics. I would do skits because I want to keep my viewership around, YouTube content creators. So because of that, the skits that I would make if I was going to do skits for my channel would be all based around things that you as a YouTube content creator would relate to, right? So it's outside of, tips and tricks or any tools or any information or anything like that. It's just humor, but it's still targeted towards YouTube content creators. So if you can do that with the business information to where it's like you can find a way to make it fit for the truck driving crowd, for the people that have the trucking business, then in that case, slide it in there that way. But if you're like, yeah, probably can't get it in there, then I would just let them know that you have other resources available. Maybe have build a website or something, and then on the website have your, main trucking information, but then have another tab that's just like, business advice or a blog or something like that, where you're sharing additional thoughts that might not be a great fit for your YouTube channel. So you can still get that information out there. It just wouldn't be, on the actual channel. Let's see here as we keep on going through this list. Hellier Smith is his name. Is there a good way to get more live stream viewers? I have almost 600 subs and only seem to get 1 or 2 peeps watching the stream. Schedule it in advance. YouTube also has that trailer feature now. So because of that, I would definitely make a trailer for your live stream and schedule it enough in advance to give people enough time, enough days to where they can, just hit the reminder to where, they can get notified when you are getting ready to go live, or at least it'll show up on their home pages if they happen to be on YouTube at that time. In addition to that, also make sure YouTube gives us the information that lets us know when people are active on our channels. Since they give us that information, make sure that you're also going live when people are the most active on your channel. Chantel says she loves Brian's latest video. I did as well. Poodles in the house. Yep. Okay, so let's see here. So as we keep on going down through this list, we've got... Okay, when is it time to change thumbnail styles, even if what you're doing is working? If what you're doing is working, then what you want to do is just keep experimenting and see if you can find something that works better. So if you have something that's working, keep using it, but experiment and see if you can find something that works better. That's where A/B testing through TubeBuddy comes in really handy, because in that situation, you have the stuff that you know works and you know people are going to click on it. But then when you start, running those tests, then you're able to just swap them out and easily and get the information back from those swaps to let you know which ones outperform the other ones. And when you're doing that, over time, you'll start to notice like, hey, when I do these things with my thumbnails, people respond to them better. And before you run those tests, other things that you can consider as well is they have their click magnet tool where you can go in there and they basically show you, and keep in mind this information is a little bit biased because, like, for example, if you have a majority of your thumbnails with faces on them, let's say you have 100 videos with faces on them and you have 10 that don't, then of course they're going to show you information that says, well, people respond to the face content more just because you have way more of them. But just running your content through that click magnet just to get a general idea of what their system says that people are responding to more, and using that information when you're experimenting with the new thumbnail styles through the A/B tests is a good approach for that. Matt says that Camtasia, DaVinci, and even iMovie on a Mac are great options to use. I'm still using iMovie until I get the time to learn other software. Yeah, good move. Yeah, efficiency over everything, right? Like efficiency, like if you can get your efficiency high with editing software, it becomes really difficult to change. I was like, my efficiency, I can cruise through a video in Vegas Pro, but it's just limited in the stuff that you can get for it and all of that. It's a little bit buggy. It crashes a lot. So because of that, I was like, all right, we're going to transition over time into Premiere. And it was a really hard transition because of how efficient I am inside of Vegas. So let's see here as we keep on going through the list here. All right. So next up on our list here, we've got, make sure I got everything answered. Yep. Okay, so next up we have actual Kevin. Now look, this isn't like the other Kevin. This isn't like a random Kevin. This is the actual Kevin with a 1 after the name. So it's actual Kevin 1. So let's see here. So the question is the type of channels to start up, the goal of the channel's growth. Question, can you talk about the new videos growing your channel report in graphic and YouTube analytics? Absolutely. What those are for is those are to let you know the videos that people are responding to at the highest rate in terms of the ones that people are subscribing to and the ones that are getting the most views on your channel. As we keep on going, next question that we have is from Roman Afoni. Says, education languages is the type of channel, and the goal of the channel is to share my knowledge about the Romance languages. And the question, what should you do if you're having trouble deciding on a direction for your channel? Spend some time thinking about it. Spend some time just kind of, thinking about it and thinking of the long term of whatever type of content you're wanting to put out. So when it comes to YouTube, as I'm sure you've heard, niching down is really important. So because of that, when you are wanting to just start creating content on YouTube, like as a human being, you're interested in so many things. It's really hard to just narrow down, like, this is the thing that I want to make content on. And because of that, it can kind of lead you to this point to where you're like, well, I want to make content on this, but I want to make content on this. And I've got it narrowed down to these things, but I'm not really sure which one to go. And then, it can kind of put you in a spot where it's like, okay, I'm stuck now. So what I would do is I would just spend some time thinking about it and start thinking of things like this. 1, sustainability. So from sustainability, what you want to do is you want to sit down, you want to try to, if you can, with the type of content that you're wanting to make, see if you can write down 100 video ideas for the content that you're wanting to make. If you can, then that will give you a whole year worth of 2 uploads per week. So by writing down that 100, you are saying like you can at least make it through 1 year of making content for your channel. Of course, if you wanted to do a video per week, then that would give you 2 years of content for your channel. So then what you're doing right there is you're proving sustainability through the video ideas. The next thing that you want to think about is you want to think about monetization. So when it comes to the monetization, what you want to make sure that you're thinking of is you want to make sure that you're thinking of like, okay, what are all the different ways that I can monetize this? And the reason that you want to think about monetization when you're starting is because YouTube takes money. Like if you're uploading content to YouTube, you are going to have to, even if you're doing it on your phone, like you're going to have to eventually replace phones. You're going to have to, get apps. You will probably end up paying subscriptions to different things like TubeBuddy, for example, and different softwares and apps and all that. And all that stuff takes money. So because of that, making sure that you are choosing the one that you can monetize is definitely something that I can recommend. And the way that you want to think about it is like, okay, no matter what I do, I'm going to be able to monetize through ads, but I also want to see through these different, types of content that I'm considering putting out. I just want to do the exercise of working through all the different ways that I might be able to monetize each one and how long it might take me to monetize each one so that I can make sure that I'm giving myself the best odds of sustainability. Again, that's the word that we're using here because we have the video ideas and now we have that you're monetizing it so that if you have cameras, if your camera goes down, you can buy a new one. If your monitor goes down, you can buy a new one. Your computer goes down, you buy a new one. If you're doing it on your phone, if that goes down, you can buy a new one, right? That's the idea. And then, once everything starts doing well, then you're going to want to go to conferences, things like that. All this stuff costs money. So because of that, making sure that you are considering that side of things is really important. Let's see here. What else? In addition to that, like I would also think about like what you want to be known as, because, when you're a YouTube content creator, and this is something that a lot of people don't tell people when they're getting started, but as a YouTube content creator, like you're going to be known as, oh, hey, that's your name from whatever the YouTube channel is, right? So like in your case here, it would be, let's see, your YouTube channel's Romanceophony. So your name isn't actually in here, but let's just say that your name is Sarah. Then in that case, you'd be like, oh, hey, that's Sarah from, oh, hey, are you Sarah? When you're at the grocery store, somebody's going to walk up to you and be like, hey, is your name Sarah? You'll be like, yeah, why? You have a YouTube channel, Romanceophony, right? So you're going to be known as whatever it is that you decide to go. You're going to be known around that content. So because of that, you also want to make sure that when you are considering the topics that you're going to be talking about on your channel and the direction that you're going to go, you also want to make sure that you are considering those types of things in terms of like, hey, when I am, when I'm putting out, content, people are going to know me as this person that makes this type of content, which means I'm going to end up talking about this stuff all the time. And in the future, you might end up getting other opportunities to where, you might end up on, going to like, conferences, or you might end up doing like paid appearances and different things, like if you're doing like fashion content, stuff like that, or entertainment content. So, because of that, you want to make sure that you're thinking through all of these things. If you want to, give yourself the best, path, you want to make sure you're thinking through all of these things so that you can make sure that you're making that right choice on which one is the best choice for you based on what it is that you're ultimately trying to accomplish with the efforts of uploading content to YouTube. Oh, let's see here. So as we keep on going down this list, Savvy Turtle, welcome back.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome back. I think you're already in the Facebook group. So if not, then of course, make sure that you go fill that out. And just go to the Nimmin VIP. It's going to redirect you to the Facebook group, but I'm pretty sure you're in there already. Let's see here. Pure Adrenaline Fantasy. Okay, at Set the Hook, that's 100% false. He even had me on the live stream, and I've never donated. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's probably somebody saying that I'm only answering questions of people that that pay. So here, I have 32,000 subscribers, and I can't think of a niche that I want to run with. Yeah, same exact thing for you, right? Like, just thinking through all those things that I was just talking about in terms of, the long-term implications of what it is that you're going to be doing. Because here's the truth. Like, when it comes to YouTube, like, it takes time. Like, it takes so much time to, come up with video ideas and research those video ideas and make the videos and then put those videos together in terms of editing them and the thumbnails and like all that stuff. Plus, once your channel starts doing well, then you're answering like comments, and then you're also managing other opportunities that will come because of your YouTube channel. And you're doing all of that while trying to maintain like your social life and your family life and any other, like if you work a job, then, you gotta have to, manage that as well. So you're trying to do all of these, you're trying to do all of these things. So, it can definitely be a lot. The Patriotic Truth Teller. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find your super chat so I can pin it to the screen. There it is. Patriotic Truth Teller says, does YouTube hide
Super chat.
Does YouTube hide videos or political channels that don't follow the liberal groupthink mindsets? No. So what happens is in some cases, some of the topics that you talk about can end up in restricted mode. So to see what videos of yours are restricted, and I actually went through this exercise. There was somebody that had a similar type of channel, and they were in the live stream here as well. And during that conversation, one of the things that I mentioned to them was the same exact thing that I'm getting ready to tell you. After the stream, I looked at their channel and I saw that they were indeed getting restricted based on some of the topics. So I'm going to tell you like what to do in that situation. So basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to put your YouTube app on your phone or on your computer into restricted mode. So you can find that in your YouTube settings. Once it's in restricted mode, and this is better if you do it from another account, your friend's account, your significant other account, whatever. But basically, you want to do that, and you want to go and look at your channel, and you want to see what content is getting restricted, because they'll restrict content if it's like if it's not if it's controversial, but if it's like if they feel that it is misinformation, or if they feel that it's not appropriate for certain audiences or for certain like ads, then in that case, sometimes the content will get restricted. So what you want to do is you want to go in, you want to figure out the videos that have been restricted. You want to figure out the topics of that you were talking about at that point in time. Then you also want to go into your captions or just watch your video and see what it was that you were saying in that video to see if you can see any words or phrases that might trigger their system to be like, hey, this is like, this is content that not all people should be looking at. Then in that case, you want to start noticing those things so that you can write them down so that over time you're going to start to notice triggers. When I talk about these things, when I make videos about these things, these are the things that typically land my videos, not the channel, but my videos in restricted mode, so that you can start kind of working around those things. So for example, with the event that's going on in the world right now, one of the things that I noticed in one of my live streams is there was a point in time, this is months and months ago, but I actually said it, right? I said the thing that's going on in the world. I said the name. And when I said that, I noticed right out of the gate, like on my viewership, I mean, it could just be because I started, because I mentioned it, but right out of the gate, everything just kind of went like this in my live stream. And then it was like that for a little bit, and then it came right back up, after I, continued the conversation. I don't know for sure if it was related. It could have been a coincidence, but because of that, from that moment forward, I use the thing that's happening in the world as a replacement for actually saying the word of what is happening in the world, right? So because of that, that's where you look for things like that in the type of content that you make. See if you can identify anything that happens to like, hey, anytime I talk about this happens. So what can I do to phrase it in another way that might help it not get restricted so that I can get my message out? Okay. So those are the types of things that you want to think about. And also when it comes to, like the YouTube hide videos or political channels that don't follow liberal groupthink mindsets. So, so when it comes to like groupthink, I mean, that can go in either direction, clearly, right? That's why you have, both sides, right? So, so the groupthink it goes in both ways. But in terms of, how YouTube handles that stuff, of course, if they do, see it as like misinformation or something like that, then you are, going to have some issues there. But if you're just talking about controversial things, then you can be fine, but you just got to find ways to approach it, to where their system, won't be triggered by very specific things that you say. Hopefully that was helpful. Let's see here. So as we keep on going through this list, going down here because I saw a couple more come in. I want to answer those. Okay, so Voorhees Trading says my channel is stagnant. Should I continue to post daily, even though that the sentiment is dying down? I hate posting videos just to post videos. I enlisted just old videos. No one is watching. I kept the ones that have been popular. So uploading for the sake of uploading, if you find that like it's not really helping, then in that particular case, you might want to slow it down and work more. Like basically, if you're uploading daily and people aren't responding, then I would slow it down a little bit and start spending those days off in analysis and trying to think and trying to use YouTube's analytics to figure out why everything's kind of slowing down. So basically by doing that, that one will give you that analytical time to make sure that you're spending time trying to figure out why, people are responding to something in one way or the other, and like your audience retention reports, click-through rate, all the stuff that we talk about all the time. But basically you are going to do that with some of the time. And then also not uploading daily is going to give you time to create content that's a little bit better as well. Because you're not going to be in a hurry, like, oh, I got to get this video out today. It's Tuesday. I put out a video yesterday. It's Wednesday. Got to put out another one because I put out a video yesterday. It kind of gets you off of that hamster wheel, and it gives you just a little bit more time to make sure that you're putting out content that, has the opportunity to get the highest, response. So, so because of that, I would consider, pulling back a little bit if everything's kind of slowing down. Another thing that I want to tell you, So I worked with somebody that was doing, they were uploading, I think it was 3 times a week. And then they went to daily, channel started rising, and then it just kind of plateaued. And they kept doing daily for quite some time. And then it was like, okay, let's slow down the upload pace. And then slowed down the upload pace, and then bam, went past that plateau. And then, the channel kept growing from there. And then now it's went all the way back down to, I think now, because I'm not working with them anymore, but I think they're down to like 2 videos a week or something like that. And the channel's still, it's just still climbing, still thriving. So definitely, play with your upload schedule if you're uploading daily, and just see if you get a better response by slowing down a little bit. And also make sure that when you are posting that content that you are going to post, even if it's not daily, make sure that you are just spending that extra time instead of being like, okay, I don't have to upload a video, so I'm off today. Think of it from the perspective of, okay, now I have all this time that just freed up. So where can I spend this time to make better content and to better understand my channel performance, my audience, and all of that? Where can I spend that time to help make everything better? Hopefully that helped. Mr. Church Marketer with Rock Davis says, launching my channel 2022, trying to plan out videos. Is it best to run with a single topic for the month or different topics? So what you want to think of is you want to think of the audience. What I mean by that is you want to think of the people that you're trying to reach with your content, and you just want to make sure that whatever content that you're putting out, that it is a good fit for those particular people. If you do that, then that by itself is going to be okay. But if you want to level that up a little bit, the next thing that you want to do is you want to start chaining videos together. And what I mean is, if you are going to take the 30-day approach, like a month to month to month type of approach, then in that case, the first video that you publish, for that particular month, make that video, whatever it happens to be. But then the next video that you make, think to yourself, the people that made that, first video, and of course you plan this out ahead of time. You don't make the video and then think about this. But what you want to think about is you want to think the people that came in from this particular video, or that are going to come in from this very first video that I'm going to publish this month, the next video that I make, how good of a fit is it going to be for the people that watch that first video? And then this third video, how good of a fit is it going to be for the people that watch that second video and that first video? And then you keep stacking that out over the course of the month so that you can do a few things there. One is you're making sure that you're being consistent in terms of, I made a video about this. If the people enjoyed this, then they would definitely enjoy this next video that I'm coming up with, right? So you're creating that environment. But then another thing that you can do is that you can also, as you're building that plan out, you can also start thinking like, okay, now I'm 4 videos in. Once I get to this 4th video, from here forward, or this 3rd video, from here forward, I'm going to start really being strategic about how I'm interlinking my content and how I'm actually leading people into other videos that I have on the channel. So for example, that's where you start being very specific about the videos that you're linking to in your end screen, so that you can kind of loop people into, different parts of, that series that you're working on for the month. That's where you start getting really intentional about, instead of linking to a video at the end in your end screen, you start linking into playlists, based around that particular section of content that you're putting out for that month and so on. So hopefully that helped. Let's see here. As we keep on going down through this list right here, we've got, let's see. Yeah, I think that brings us up to date there. Okay, we'll keep on trucking. Let me check over here just to make sure. Okay, got that. I think we are up to date there. Whoop, whoop. Yep, we are looking good. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So next up, we've got, excuse me. Can you dig it? Metal detecting. Clever. Like that name. Says they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is a metal detecting channel. It's entertainment. And the goal of the channel is for entertainment to make people smile and laugh. And the question, I'm an everyday poster, and some videos do good and some videos not too well, but post at the same time every day. Would you suggest switching up the time of posting? So what you want to do is you would just want to look and see when your audience is the most active on the platform, and you want to publish just right as those people are starting to come on. So in that particular case, feel free to experiment, with different videos, posting at different times. If you notice a particular, time that you publish, they tend to do better. Then in that case, definitely making sure to note that, and then experiment on other days of posting, around that same time as well. But other things to keep in mind is that, for your space, for your type of content, if everybody else is uploading, like Monday, like all the other people that make content like you, if everybody's uploading on like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, then, that Wednesday's open. You might want to, publish your content on Wednesday so that the people that are watching that type of content, they have a new piece of content that can show up on their homepage from, that video that you published that day. Now, of course, those videos from Monday and Tuesday are still getting shown to those people as well if they, haven't interacted with them already, but it just gives you the opportunity to publish that piece of content to that primed audience that might be on the platform at that moment in time, that can come and enjoy that content. Let's see here. So Vegas Slots channel says we finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Couldn't have done it without your help, Nick. I've watched your videos multiple times. Thank you for all that you do. High five and fist bump to you for your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Love it. Nice work. Congratulations to you for that. Next up, 5,000. Let's see here. Thank you for the slow growing channel here, trying to learn how to blow up. Thank you. My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the, glad that you're enjoying the content. If you focus on the process, then you'll do fine. Let's see here. Calm and collected fast lane. Any tips to get browse features to linger past the first 24 hours? Even if my CTR is through the roof, browse features get turned off exactly at 24 hours. Interesting. So in that particular case, look at the engagement of the videos that continue to get views from browse features compared to the ones that do not after that 24 hours. Keep in mind, in addition to just seeing, browse, click into that and make sure that you're not getting most of that browse activity coming from your subscription feed. So when you first click into that, into your advanced analytics, in some cases, those are not going to be highlighted in blue and they're not going to give you the ability to click. That's because you have it as since published. So when you go up to the date range, you want to change it from since published to since uploaded. And when you do that, then those are going to turn into links and you'll be able to click into browse and you'll be able to see a homepage and subscriptions. So make sure that it's coming from home pages and not subscriptions in that case. But click-through rate is not the only thing that is going to impact it there. It's going to be the click-through rate, and it's also going to be your retention on how people interact with the content once they come in from a homepage. In addition to that, all the other engagement factors also matter. So because of that, you want to make sure you're encouraging people to like your videos, comment your videos, share your videos, subscribe your channel, all that good stuff, either verbally or through graphics, however you want to do it. And I wouldn't do it all at once, and I wouldn't do it, right when your video starts if you're trying to get that initial traction. I would just focus on the viewer experience first, and then if you are going to do those types of things, then I would just do them graphically instead of actually verbally, just as those little nudges and reminders, unless it's a comment call to action. If it's a comment call to action, the reason that I change with that one is because with that one, you can just ask a question, super easy. You can do that in passing with any type of content in order to get some type of feedback in your comments. Same exact thing. If you want to get more likes, having a little graphic pops up, remind people to like, super easy. So because of that, just remember that click-through rate isn't the only thing. There's a bunch of other factors involved. So because of that, people have to continue enjoying your content. Like what could be happening in that first 24 hours is YouTube is showing it to those most primed people, those people that are the highest candidate or the most likely to enjoy that content based on, how they use the platform and how they've interacted with yours. So because of that, it could be after that 24-hour period that, people just aren't responding to it that haven't, been interacting with the channel. So I would just look into your stats to look for like returning viewers, that kind of thing, to see if you are running into that, to see if you have new viewers coming in, subscribed viewers coming in. And then I would also make sure that you are digging in deeper into the browse to make sure that you're not just pulling that traffic from the subscription feed, because that is possible. And then that could cause you, of course, to seem like it falls off just because you would be getting bumped down further and further as more content gets published to those viewers. Let's see here, but just as a quick side note here, another thing that I just want to mention is that, when it comes to all this stuff, every surface is performance based. So it doesn't matter if it's, search, doesn't matter if it's, home pages, doesn't matter if it's, suggested videos, like it's all performance based. So, so if your traffic dries up there, it's because, people stop responding to the content there. Vegas Slot channel. Okay. Yep. We got that one already. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. There it is. And Save McGlane, what's up, man? Hope you're doing awesome. So say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. Not sure what the holiday season is called there, but just want to support the channel. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. So I'm still, hey man, I'm Christmas all day right here. Christmas all day. It doesn't matter where I live. Christmas all day. So we haven't put up our tree yet. We just went and got one, but we haven't put up the tree yet. But like I've been listening to Christmas music and like totally Christmas vibe. Like last night, for example. At the end of my night, just kind of turned on some Christmas music. We made some hot chocolate, and I, just sat up here and drank some hot chocolate. I was kind of shutting everything down and all that. So, yeah, totally Christmas mode here. So yeah, happy Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you as well. I think that brings us up to date. Oh no, one more here. Says, hey Nick. Remix.
Super
Hey Nick,
chat.
what if I have a few different niches? Gaming, reaction, YouTube, but everything in a comedy vibe. I try to make people laugh. Can a channel be successful with having a few different topics? So ultimately what you're doing though is you're creating comedy content. So with comedy content, you can make that comedy content about anything, but just keep in mind that you definitely want to relate to an audience. So in that particular case, that's where you want to start thinking about, okay, and like here's where like an actual demographic of where they watching from in terms of like the countries they're watching from, the age ranges of the people watching, things like that. That's where you want to consider that side of your audience, because that helps you make your comedy funnier for those people that you're actually trying to target. So like for example, if you're trying to target people over here where I'm at in Thailand, it's really common for them over here to use like tons of sound effects and like little whistly bells and like woo woo woo, and then like so even like normal content, like in my case, right, making educational content, like even in my content, if they were making my stuff, anytime something popped up on the screen, there'd be like a cartoon sound and things like that. They just respond to that big time over here. So because of that, if you're making comedy content, you want to have all those sound effects and all those, all those types of things going on. But in the States, it's a little bit different. When we experience that type of thing, we're like, why are these sound effects going on? Like, sound effects are fine, but when it's at an excessive level like they do over here, then it's kind of like, whoa, that's like a little bit much. How come everything I'm watching, even the news, has these like cartoon sound effects on it? And it starts making everything kind of weird, right? So, that's where you really want to just make sure that you're digging into all of those types of demographics so that you can just make sure that even the ages, all that, so you can make sure that the references that you're making are going to be picked up by your intended audience. So for example, if you're doing gaming content, you're doing gaming, jokes, then in that particular case, just make sure that, you're targeting those jokes towards the right age range of the people that you're trying to reach with your content and so on. Let's see here. And same thing, just topically, just keep that in mind. Just be like, hey, I'm trying to reach, like, just define it. I'm trying to reach like these types of people that are interested in these types of, very specific things about this age range and about this and this, country, so that you can, at least keep those types of things in mind when you're making the content. Costume CO, Heidi, what's up? Hope you're doing great. Says, good morning, pretty late. Wish everyone happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you as well. Okay, so next up on our list here, I'm jumping back into the form for this one. Says, let's see here. We've got, how do you stand out in a smaller niche, dirt bikes? The link to the channel. Oh, I thought that was okay. The type of channel is dirt bikes. And the goal of the channel is love to be able to go full time. And the question, how to stand out in a smaller niche? Make amazing content. And I know that's really broad and that's like an easy out for me, but really make amazing content. So one thing to always keep in mind when it comes to standing out is the you side of your YouTube channel. That by itself is going to be something that's going to really help you stand out. But other things that you can do is if you notice like, hey, all the other dirt bike channels are doing like vlog style stuff and things like that with their content. Start thinking of like, what could I introduce to this space that would be, really interesting to people? So for example, if everybody's doing vlog style dirt bike content, you could start doing cinematic content. If people are mainly doing cinematic content, then you could start doing like really, like POV. I guess they do that too in dirt bikes. But, you could just start doing like really, like really vloggy style, content in your case. Like those types of things are ways that you can stand out. In addition to that, like a great example of this. So Ed over on the Film Booth channel, and I know I talk about him all the time because he's doing really awesome things. And he's like the first person in our space that has taken storytelling to like a whole other level with the content that he puts out. Because he creates, not with every video, but with like a lot of his content, he's creating, like actual, like the amount of work that he puts into some of his videos is, I can imagine it's quite the workload. However, the results that he's getting from that content is like really good because people are really enjoying it because he's added storytelling through the actual story and visually, where he takes you through a journey with the content that he's sharing with you. So he's actually teaching you this stuff while he's showing you himself doing it in like a story format in a really creative way. And it's completely refreshing to our space because typically, like me, for example, like I'll sit here and I'll make videos here and I'll be able to create, 4 videos in a sitting if I wanted to. And I can, just create those 4 videos and I'm done. And then in his case, like he's, putting in, tons of time into his content, but it's something fresh and new and totally worth it because it is so fresh and new. People are really enjoying it because it's something that's completely outside of what all of us are doing, and it's getting a super high response. So, when it comes to standing out, it is, looking at the space and thinking to yourself, like, how can you do it a little bit differently? So when I first came into this, when I started doing YouTube help content, I started trying to do it in a way, me and Brian G both, we started trying to do it in a way that was a little bit different than how other people were doing it at the time. And that was, trying to be entertaining and uplifting and encouraging while we're making it, trying to make everything like look, a certain way, things like that. We started leveling up the whole live streaming thing, and we started, adding like colored backgrounds and lights and all this stuff to like the YouTube help space where previously, people weren't doing that stuff. So, like little things like that are little ways that you can, stand out with the type of content that you're doing. And what's interesting is that there's always additional ways to stand out. So like, for example, how Ed came into our space and he's doing that storytelling content. There's other ways, like there's other, like Nate from Channel Makers. He's another amazing content creator. And with him, he's standing out by getting the community involved. So what he does is he'll have like the community give, all types of, like he'll have post like forums in his community tab. You go in there, submit all types of screenshots and stuff to him. He analyzes everything, and then he shares information based on like some of that stuff. And like he's doing a lot of really cool stuff there as well. A lot of experiments that he shares, the information for and all of that. So that's what he's using as his way to stand out over there. So, and he's, being rewarded heavily for it because he's really good at it. So, so because of that, when it comes to your type of content, like there's always a way to stand out. You just have to look at what's going on in the space and really, get creative, because we're creators. It's what we do. You got to get creative in what it is that you're going to bring to the table. Let's see here. So as we keep going, let's see here. Hold on really quick. Love your added info in Nate's recent video. All that might have been on the descriptions possibly. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I'll go. I'm not sure if I've seen that one yet. I watch a lot of his stuff. I watch a lot of Ed's stuff too, just because they're so good. Like, like I love watching them just because they're so good, and it's just so refreshing just to see, both of them, taking what it is that we do in this space and transforming the experience for you guys. Because in my opinion, like we're all trying to do the same thing. Like we're all trying to help you guys get to certain levels with your channels. So what's awesome for this is that, like I do it in one way. Brian does it in another way. Roberto does it in another way. Nate does it in another way. Ed does it in another way. So, like, because of that, like, all of these different creators out there, Justin over at Primal Video, they do it in another way. Think Media, they do it in another way. So it's like, you have all these channels out there that are doing, this content, and it's awesome for you guys because, with you guys, based on how you learn things, like, you're going to resonate with certain channels over others. And then there's going to be some concepts that you'll hear here that will make some sense, but then you'll watch a video from Ed, and because of the way that he demonstrates stuff, it might really slam the idea home for you. Or he might go over something in his video to where, like the time was spent on the production side. And because of that, maybe like the details of something might have slipped by to where maybe in a live stream here, then, those details might be expanded on and you'll be able to learn that thing that way. So, because of that, like having all these different creators doing it in a different way, it's great for you guys. And because of all this information is out there, it's, it's really, it's easy to learn how to do this stuff these days because of all the different ways that people are explaining it. Yeah, Daniel Batal also, absolutely, without question. He's doing some YouTube help stuff. Like with Daniel, his huge win is like consulting. Like the people that are working with him are getting like crazy results. He's doing awesome there. But he drips out YouTube help content on his channel. But as of right now, it's mostly focused on like editing stuff, which is also like you got to learn how to edit as a YouTuber. But for his YouTube help stuff, yeah, he's doing some cool stuff over there too. Video for bosses says, hey Nick, I've noticed that my live streams will sometimes take 24 hours to process. I was actually watching some of your live stream replays the other day, by the way. But why is that? And will this hurt my views overall? Is there something that I'm doing wrong? And what can I do to change this? So when it comes to your live streams, that 24 hours to process, like it's still available. It's just not processed in like the highest resolution and all that good stuff. So it's fine right now. Like I wouldn't even worry about it. But one thing that I do want to mention though, is I loved your presentation. Like in the videos I was watching, because it looks like the stuff available on your channel is you're mostly going live. As long as I'm just making the right reference here, it looks like most of the stuff on your channel you're going live and you're just recording videos live is what it looks like. But you're great, like in terms of like the communication side. I would definitely take some of those down, from time to time and edit them up and all that just to make them just a little bit tighter. But like your presentation, really solid, and how you're communicating in your video content. Let's see here. What's a good PC laptop for editing? I've been looking at the MSI Stealth or Crosshair. Not my wheelhouse. I wish I could help you there. Maybe somebody in the chat can help you there as well. But at the end of the day, the computer specs in terms of like MSIs and specific models and stuff like that, that's definitely not my wheelhouse. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, okay. Okay. So let's see here. So next up on our list, we're going to pull this one from the form. So this is number 37. Got through 37, not including all the questions on the side. This is great. We cruised through these today. So Ethereal is the next question here, and they are currently focused on gaming with Twitch videos on demand. The goal is to become a YouTuber. The entire career appeals to me. Question, is it better to start with a face cam or introduce it later, for example, after you reach a goal? Just go ahead and start with your face cam. If you're going to be on camera anyway, just go ahead and get started, because, as part of, learning how to do all this stuff, just like you're doing it on Twitch, when it comes to you doing your, stuff in your videos, like just go ahead and get people used to you instead of making it this thing to where they have to like earn it, because, YouTube is really transient in nature in terms of like, there's a lot of new viewers coming in. And since there's a lot of new viewers coming in, there's a lot of returning viewers, all that good stuff too. But you're going to miss a lot of opportunities for people to get to know you, and they might have connected with you if they actually saw you. But you could possibly, miss that opportunity of connection with a lot of people while you're just waiting to get to a certain goal. So I would just go ahead. If you're going to be on camera in the future, I would just go ahead and be on there now. Let's see here. How do I gain more retention as a gaming YouTuber? I use hooks and make what I say going to be clear, but people are sticking around for 1 or 2 and leaving for no reason. They're leaving for a reason, and that reason is because they're either not getting out of the content what they expected to get based on what was promised on the outside through the topic, title, and thumbnail of your video, or as they're watching the content, they're just losing interest as they go. So if you notice that people are leaving in mass around like 1 or 2 minutes, then in that case, what you need to start looking at is what you're doing right before that 1 or 2 minute mark, because you need to change something up there. Because if that's a continued problem area, like people are always leaving around the 1 to 2 minute mark, then you get them to that 1 to 2 minute mark. Like they're in for that first minute, but then they start leaving. So that means you got to really start working on like, okay, what can I do in order to keep people watching? Do I need to just completely interrupt everything that's going on and like, turn on a camera and talk to them for 30 seconds and then go back to the game, or for 10 seconds and go back to the game? Like, what can I do to, re-engage people at that 1 minute mark or shortly before that 1 minute mark? Same with the 2 minute mark and so on. Let's see here. Okay, got that. Okay. So here, next up, we've got MJ and Adam Show. Says they do educational talk show content. The goal of the channel is to help people in Japan learn/hear native convo and understand the Western thinking. Question, we have 35,900 subscribers, but on average get 2,000 views per video. Are subscribers not seeing our videos in their feeds? We've been consistently uploading 3 videos a week. Is it my content or YouTube? In order to uncover this, all you need to do is you need to go and look at the impressions that you're getting for the videos. When you are getting impressions for those videos, that means that YouTube is showing your videos to people. So then it comes down to you being able to get people to click on your videos when they are being shown to people. So the very first step with solving that problem is to go in and look at the impressions that you're getting for a video. Because an impression, for those of you that don't know this, an impression is when YouTube shows your content to somebody on the platform. So, so because of that, just make sure you're looking to see if YouTube is giving you impressions or not. All right. Let's see here. Make sure I got all of these, which I think I did. I did there. Good. Make sure everything's solid over on this side. Members message from Let's Get Clacking. Okay, so Let's Get Clacking left a members message, says really good video last week, or 2 almost really good videos. I grew faster at 2 weeks, but maybe I should focus on slightly better videos now. Yeah, absolutely. Just when you do have a video that does better, and this is for Let's Get Clacking, when you notice a video does better than the other videos, rip it apart. And by rip it apart, what I mean is like go through and watch the video, look at the retention of that video, and start thinking of it from the viewer's perspective, and start thinking like, one, from the outside, the packaging of this, like, why do I think people clicked on this one more than the other? And then when you're looking at the video content and people are responding to that better, leaving more comments, giving it more thumbs up, things like that, then you want to start looking at that information too, and just start thinking like, why do I think people responded better to this? Is it the topic? Were there specific things that I said in the video? Was it just super interesting? Did I do something different in this video? Just start trying to uncover that. And then any theories that you come up with, test them on new content. And that's going to lead you down the path of, uncovering the things that your audience responds to most. Let's see here. Some super chats. I think I got those taken care of. Okay, starred. Yep, got that one. Thank you, Doug. And Jimmy J says, how much literal time should I invest in branding before a seriously dedicated YouTube channel launch? What would be a realistic budget on that effort? I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't invest anything in branding before I started the channel. Outside of, let's see here, what would you need? Channel art. That's it. So channel art's the only thing that you need when you get started. And even that, you can do it at a very basic level. Basically, the idea is on the branding side, the thing that you should focus on more than anything else is defining the value that you are going to bring to your viewers so that you can make that explicitly clear everywhere in your About Me page, in your channel art, in your videos, in your video descriptions if you want. But basically, when you're putting out your videos, it's important to know that you do not have to have a logo intro. In a lot of cases, that's interruptive to the viewer, and you'll see a dip in retention during that particular part. In addition to that, you don't need an end screen in your videos either. You can do like I do, to where, say, hey, watch this video next, essentially, and there's no graphic attached to that. So that'll save you money. Not having a logo intro is going to save you money. You can have a lower third made if you want. So you can have like you on there, like your actual name, and you can have, like a website link or something like that on there if you want, or a website name, I'm sorry. If you want that in your lower third, you could do that one if you want to make sure that you're spreading awareness about whatever it is that you want to spread awareness about. But in terms of like branded thumbnails and logo intros and like end screens, things like that, you don't need any of that stuff. So like, I would focus on the things that matter, and that is making sure that your value proposition is crystal clear for the audience that you're trying to reach, so that you can make sure that when you're publishing content to your channel, you can run it through the filter of, does this piece of content serve my value proposition? Yes, publish. No, not going to publish. And by doing that, it's going to help make the whole process easier for you, because you're going to have that to lean on, that filter to run everything through. In addition to that, once you start getting traction, then that's where you can say, okay, I'm going to, I'm going to start, working a little bit harder on my branding here in terms of like, color schemes and, fonts and all that stuff that I use in my videos. That's where you start getting a little bit more committed there. Now, on that note, if you want to go ahead and choose like, hey, these are the fonts I'm going to use in my videos, these are the colors I'm going to use, that stuff's fine. What I'm talking about is ultimately, you don't need to spend money on like logo intros, end screens, things like that at all, ever. But if you want to, like, I wouldn't do that at the start. I would spend your money on things like channel art, for example, maybe a lower third, because then that way it's going to help you spread awareness about anything that you want to spread awareness about, because you can put a website address or whatever on that. And then in addition to that, I would also make sure that when it comes to your thumbnails, that you are not taking the approach of, my thumbnails need to be branded. It's beneficial for returning viewers to see a branded thumbnail. However, for a channel to grow, you're also going to need a lot of new people coming in. So because of that, you want to focus more on the effectiveness of your thumbnails, more of your total packaging. Like the ideas, the video topics, the thumbnails, and the titles, you want to focus your efforts on the effectiveness of those before you start figuring out your branding for those. And the reason for that is because a lot of people, business owners, are really good at this. They will commit to branding. Like, hey, we had some graphic designer make us a bunch of thumbnail templates, and we're going to use these for every single video. And they just commit to that foolishly, because they think like that, hey, this, it needs to be this way because, this is the font and these are the colors that we use for our company. So our thumbnails have to also reflect that. They don't. Always lean on the side of effectiveness over branding, because if your branding causes you to get 10 views on a video, but the effectiveness approach causes you to get, 1,000 views on a video, then I'm sure you would agree that 1,000 videos or that 1,000 views is going to help you reach a lot more people and get out your message or spread awareness about whatever it is that you're trying to bring attention to way more than, that 10 views will. So because of that, I would definitely lean on the side of effectiveness over branding. And then as you get rolling, that's where, if you want to, then you can start experimenting with different branding options for your thumbnails. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, Bearded Dad says, are you planning on attending Vid Summit 22? I decided to invest in myself this year and I pulled the trigger to go myself. Any advice for a small channel going for the first time? Yes. As long as like everything is okay in terms of travel, I will definitely go to Vid Summit 2022. If I'm speaking, if I'm not speaking, whatever, like, Vid Summit Vid Summit is like Mecca for me. So like Vid Summit as a YouTube content creator, if you are a YouTuber, if you are somebody that's taking this stuff seriously and you do have the money to invest into going to a conference, you are making the right choice by making Vid Summit that conference. If you're into social media in general, social media marketing world is also a good solution, or a good choice. But for video content creators, YouTubers, if you're making videos for TikTok, that kind of stuff, if you're making videos, Vid Summit you made a great choice by choosing Vid Summit. So on my side, absolutely, as long as there's not anything weird travel-wise and all that stuff, new variants messing everything up, whatever, then yeah, I'll absolutely go to Vid Summit 22. And I'll actually be counting down the days, as a matter of fact. Because I wasn't able to go this year, unfortunately. I was waiting until the last minute. I was like, man, I'm like, if it opens up, like I'm going. And unfortunately, it just didn't open up here locally, so I wasn't able to go, which bummed me out. Like, what's crazy? Just a little quick side topic here. So, like when I go to like these conferences, right? Like, because I'm kind of over here in my own little world, like because I live in Asia, so I'm over here in my own little world, so to speak. And when I go to the conferences over in the States and I'm around a bunch of other content creators, I pull tons of energy from that. And when I come back, I'm like fired up and like, I'm just so driven to make content and to add value and all that stuff that it's crazy. It's almost a problem. But like from Vid Summit, like I get so much energy from that, and just the other conferences too. Like I just get so much energy from that. And by not participating in any of that stuff this year, it's sucked. I hated missing it this year, just knowing that that I could be over there, and that I could be hanging out with all those content creators, and I could be learning all that additional stuff. Which of course I got the replays and all that, but just knowing that I could be there in that environment and kind of recharging my battery, so to speak, and then just not being able to do that was it sucked. But there's a lot of people that's had to deal with a lot worse things than that over the course of these last, year and a half, 2 years. So, okay. So, let's see here. My favorite food over here. My favorite food over here is like Mexican food and Indian food. Like, even like I'm in Thailand, but my favorite food is actually Mexican food and Indian food. I don't eat Thai food. So I can eat a couple of dishes, but my mouth just doesn't do well with Thai food. It's just not my thing. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, okay. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the stream today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for just hanging out here. Super appreciate your time. I hope that you got some value out of the stream today. I hope you learned something that will help you with your YouTube channel. Look, if you're new and, if there's anything that I said here that seemed like overwhelming, or if it seems like, like, hey, I need to do all of these things or whatever, and it seems like there's this big mountain in front of you, I promise you that it's a process that you go through just like anything else. And I encourage you to stick through it and to see it through. But if there's anything that I said that was like confusing, or if there's just a lot of stuff and you're like, holy crap, I got a lot to work on, I just recommend that you pick like a thing or two and focus on like really understanding that here over the course of the next like week or two. And then when we meet up again, then in that case, I that's where you take more notes and you're like, hey, okay, now I'm going to go work on this. But I just encourage you to just, pick like a couple of things and just kind of focus on like really understanding those at a deeper level, because, with all the stuff that we talk about here, without taking that action to actually dig in and, learn, more from what it is that you're seeing on your channel, then the information can only go so far. You have to apply the things that you learn. So because of that, just make sure that you're doing that. In addition to that, I'm not going to be streaming next weekend, next Saturday, because of the holidays, obviously, because everybody will be like opening gifts and stuff like that during the time that I stream. So I'm not going to stream at that time, but I might end up streaming either like Thursday or Friday. If I do, I'll definitely post it in the community tab, but just in case I don't. Everybody have an awesome holiday weekend coming up. Have a Merry Christmas. I hope that you enjoy yourself, and I hope that you enjoy the time around your family and friends. And then I will see you, if I don't end up not streaming, then I'll see you after, I guess, the week after that. Actually, it's New Year's, so that's New Year's Day. Actually, yeah, New Year's Day. I'll probably stream there. But if not, then in the event that I don't stream until the first week of next year, have an awesome New Year as well. Thank you, for those of you that have been around for a while, or that have been around for, like this year, thank you so much for, just being in here, on the weekends and spending your time here with me. It means a ton, for me. And, like, I know a lot of you that hang out here, a lot of you, you have, you have all the information that you need to do what you need to do on YouTube, but you still come out here and you hang out and you participate and you're a part of the community. And I just want you to know that it's super appreciated. And that I'm grateful that you hang out here. So everybody have an awesome holiday, and in the event that I don't see you before New Year's, have an awesome New Year's as well. And I'm gonna try to stream next week though. But in the event that I don't, then I'll see you guys in 2022, I guess. So yeah, so have an awesome at least holiday, and then we'll take it from there. But if not, then have an awesome New Year as well. And thank you again so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys next time.